for the after.
Rotating pretty quick, but Pat, yeah, unfortunately.
You know what? They were pretty deep. It's hard to see over the rock.
Definitely, way deep.
Yeah, they mightn't have seen it over the rock. Maybe they should think about moving those discs down a little marley or something so you can see them, or have them on the rock.
Boys, thanks for having me in the,
you're gonna scoop?
webcast. Yeah,
Okay.
I've got a heat coming up soon. I'm going to go and have a little free surf wide and get me a little swerve on. So, love, awesome.
Come back,
Hog. The action. Yeah, I'll come back and have a chat. Thanks, boys.
Look forward to seeing you out there, brother. Unreal, always inspiring.
Thanks, mate.
Get out, go hard.
Cheers.
Here we go, the Padmar boy up and riding. He's just going to surf this way for fun. I think he realises he's had interference.
20 seconds on the clock. It's done and dusted.
Yeah, I guess for him, he probably wouldn't have surfed a heat maybe with priority, maybe not, or maybe. I'm not too sure, but that was a priority mistake.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, indeed.
It's the way she blows.
It is, yeah. But look, apart from that, Dexter out. What a swan song there for Dexter coming back from the injuries and just racking up some massive scores there. And well done to Eric Robson from Maui as well, moving through into the next round. Those two were going toe-to-toe, ding-dong battle going on between those two guys. So, yeah, Hooters gone. They'll do the wrap-up of the last of those scores, but won't make any difference. But, yeah, looking forward to, looking forward to seeing what's going to unfold in the up-and-coming heats as this tide pushes back in. It's going to be a pumping afternoon of surf hoc. Let's just check back very shortly after this ad break and see what's in action. Welcome back to the live webcast here at the Usher Cup, third year in a row, 2023, with the international invited teams from Maui. We just saw in the last heat with Eric advancing through. Also, we've got Japanese surfers. We've got the teams from Santa Cruz. New Zealand, Japan. So, yeah, just looking forward to there's going to be the international teams event. But, wow, this has been great. Great to have a great discussion with you. This heat about to come up. I've got a couple of my favourite surfers out there. You and I being goofy footers, we love this guy surfing out there, Nick Vasicek. He is a power-based surfer in these sort of waves, hollow, and he's got that really strong stomping back foot. Also, we've got Jagger, who's local snapper board riders representing snapper surf riders. Of course. Wayne Rabbit Bartholomew's son.
Yes.
We saw you standing up there, nervous in your son's heat.
Yeah, that's exactly what Rabbit would be doing now.
Right now.
But we've got a show for you, ladies and gentlemen, because these two guys, especially in this heat, and are going to try and go way back there and hunt the barrel. Nick Vasicek is the best out here, especially on his backhand. No doubt on his backhand, and maybe, just one of the best out there completely, and being disadvantaged on your backhand, and it doesn't look like a disadvantage to him
at all,
because he gets under the ledge and gets so deep in barrels. And who's going right now? Whoa,
that was him.
It looked like it was him. Yeah, he had to deal with a big backwash there. He grabbed his rail, but went over straight away. And Jagger loves it behind the rock. He goes, he charges. He was in our. We had a Open Club Championship round out here not so long ago, and it was pretty big behind the rock. Jagger was charging, as he always does. So let's see if these guys can put themselves back there and get a huge barrel.
Yeah,
Rocky.
exactly. And Nick, we've also got Nick Callister from Burleigh.
Yep.
Another great surfer, and Murray Scott. So this is going to be a very hotly contested heat. We will, I would expect, see a few pulses of sets in this time period.
It'll be a great heat. I mean, Nick and Murray, they know they've drawn the hardest heat in the round. They know that, so they'll rise. So expect fireworks. But every time we do expect fireworks, the ocean doesn't come to the party. But hopefully it does.
Okay, we'll go down to Cooper Chapman down on the rocks. Take it away, Coops.
All right, guys, I'm out here at the infamous Snapper Jump Rock. Right now, I thought it'd be a good time to bring you out here. We are at the very bottom of the tide. About 20 minutes ago, we saw that tide come in. I almost got wet right there, and right now we have two of the local favourites, Jagger Bartholomew. Out there in the pink, you can see him just over my shoulder, sitting way behind the rock. Him and Nick Vasicek, two of the best guys out here, and they're sitting a bit deeper than most guys are, so that's why I thought today, or right now, would be a good time to bring you out here. Back from the judges area, they can almost not even see the guys. They're far enough behind the rock, but I'll tell you what's going to happen. Because they're sitting behind there, if they catch a wave, they're going to be getting shot out of the barrel perfectly on your screens from home. But yeah, a bit of a slow start to this one. Hopefully the waves can start to pick up. That tide's turn. It's going to start coming in a little bit more, and we're going to see plenty of action to finish off the day out here at the beautiful Snapper Rocks.
Awesome. Yeah. Thank you, Cooper. Hey, that's a great vantage point. And you're right. Just taking the initiative, we've just talked about those two surfers, picking it up there and actually showing the knowledge those two have and the passion of getting so deep and getting back behind the rock there. And there they are, sitting way, way, way deep. So looking for that first lot of sets to kick through.
Yeah, well, you know when the waves are pumping, I can see from home, and that rock is stacked with people, and it's like Parko and Mick and Mitch Parko and Vassar and Josh, Joshy Glennon and J-Boy, and they're all behind there charging huge barrels, and there's like 20 or 50 people on that rock. And it's dangerous out there. At low tide you can do it, but you don't want to be out there at high tide. You get washed completely off that rock. Correct. And it is razor sharp. Guys get washed off there if you don't time that. I've had my times out there too. If you don't get the jump right, if you don't time the run to the rock, and you don't look at that certain double up, there's a certain double up that won't break, and it'll hit that thing at full pace without. If you see it breaking out there, usually it's all right, but if it doesn't break and it's one wall of water, it'll wash you right off there. And here we go, up and right in. It's Murray.
Yes, a couple of nice backhand snaps there. We follow. This is live. Murray Scott racing down the line. Looks like he's got a bit of extended wall. This is going to continue on way down into Little Marley section. Gives us a chance of at least, look at that, 3 or 4 more turns and that big closeout Rio. Textbook surfing, backhand surfing right from the corner of Snapper all the way through. So he's going to have a bit of a run back around. And
yeah, well, that's exactly how I'd probably approach this heat too if I was in it. I know those guys are going to go back there. So if I've got to go with them, I'm going to try and fight their inside, which is impossible. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to think maybe they won't come. I'm going to go wide. I'm going to get 2 6s or 7s. And if those guys don't make their barrels, or if the barrels don't come, I'm going to beat them in this heat. And it's a good strategy.
It's a good strategy. Working with this is the replay of that wave. And it always looks a little bit smaller on screen, but it actually had a nice sort of wall to it on the opening turn. And then here it is, steeps up on the inside section and gives it a chance to fly down the line. Talk about flying down the line. Well, we'll go back to live action shortly.
No, well, that's orange right there. So it's not Vassar in the orange. I know that wasn't Vassar. That's Nick Callister. Vassar's in the yellow, so he hasn't taken a wave yet. You got it wrong there, sorry, earlier. And you dragged me with you.
I got the mix wrong.
You did. But Nick is way back there. He hasn't even chosen a wave yet. He wants something special. He's way behind the rock, so Vasicek is waiting.
You're right. No, that's it. Okay, and looks like a bit of a run around. Here you go, Cooper Chapman. Whew.
All right, we are down here. As you can see right here, Muzzer Scott. He's about to come up on the rock with us. We might be able to ask him how he thought that last wave when he just dropped a 6-point ride. 6-point ride, Muzz. What do you reckon, mate? Let's go. There's something better. He's just yelled out to us. He's a bit puffed. The other boys haven't caught a wave yet. And, yeah, you're going to watch him right now walk out. This Snapper jump rock can be a little bit sketchy. The swell isn't too big today, so you're going to watch him walk out, step down to the lower level because it's low tide, and he's going to jump straight over the back of this one. And as easy as that, back out the back. The other boys haven't caught a wave, so right now, Muzzer Scott in the demanding position out here at Snapper Rocks. The two local favourites, Jagger Bartholomew and Nick Vasicek, bit of work to do. Still plenty of time left in this head, and it looks like there's some waves on the way.
Oh, Cooper Chapman, mate, you are in amongst the action. You cannot get any closer. That is a front row seat right there. And, he's obviously going to jump out. There's going to be priorities.
hang on. We've got something brewing.
Keep an eye out.
Oh, the first one goes under everyone. It's pretty fast. Then a bit smaller. It did barrel there wide, though. Would have been a tricky one. But who we got? No, the boys. Bit deep. Orange takes it, so it's Nick. The other Nick is saying, well, I'll just get a wide little barrel. How do you like that? And So it's a pretty nice hit there too.
Split
We've got
screen.
Jagger out the back with a huge turn. So huge, he put himself a bit behind. Can he get back around? Yes, he can.
Yes.
He's going to have to hit this big. It was a big floater, made it look big anyway. And Jagger there with a few big turns. Expect a big score there because that was a bigger wave, bigger turns. Judges love that.
Yeah, he waited for a while to get that first wave. We're actually down to 10 minutes and 35 seconds remaining, so almost half of the heat gone, and Jagger finally getting that wave, really waiting patiently. He knows what's out there. He knows there's a run of sets. There's big lulls, but there's sets definitely coming through. And it's, I mean, why waste time or effort on smaller waves with smaller scores? And he knew there's going to be a set sooner or later. Obviously, he had the priority, so he took that advantage.
Yeah, no, great wave selection by Jagger. He bolted wide. He was sitting probably right next to Vassar, and they're trying to hustle for position, but as soon as he saw that, he went wide, and that's just the first little one by Nick. And yeah, so he bolted wide and got that. We're going to see it right behind this wave, and it was a big score for Jagger. I mean, Nick Vasicek, he won't change. He'll live and die by the sword. Like in a free surf, Nick Vasicek, you know, Glenn, will wait 2 hours for a wave that he's looking for.
Yep.
And he won't go anything.
Nope.
He'll just wait for hours. But you cannot do that in a heat.
No.
It's not the right strategy because you've only got 20 minutes and he's going to live and die by the sword. He's going to wait for that wave, and I hope it comes for him.
And here's this replay of Jagger. Got those big opening turns, and then he wraps it up with a closeout Rio. Really wide, powerful stance. He's a big lad these days. Packs a lot of punch in his moves. But you're right, yeah, Vassar, I've commentated him since he was a kid, even in your events and a lot of the Surfing Queensland events, and he's frustrated the hell out of me over the time because I know what he's capable of doing. I've seen him on the off-the-wall bank at D-Bar, and when it's just wedging and hollow, and no one surfs any more powerful than he does. It's insane. Well, there it is for Jagger. It is a 9.10. As he said, why waste your time? You get your priority. He used that strategy. Now he's got a second half of the heat to go and back that up. It's a matter of playing the patient game, but it's also for you over-patient for Nick Vasicek. But Nick Callister, holding second with that 7-point ride, that second wave of his. So, he's been playing the game where he's played a completely different strategy of picking off as many waves or, getting those waves and getting the scores up early.
Yeah, great heat strategy from Jagger, and he gets taught from the best, doesn't he? He's got his dad, Wayne Rabbit Bartholomew, and he must install all this in him. Everything Rab's learned from over the years. Rab's been kind to me. Rab took me under his wing when I was young, and we done the tour together, and I learned so much off Rab. So Jagger's surfing a really smart heat. Here's green. It's Murray on another littler one, but he's keeping busy. Jagger's looking over his shoulder, looking to see what he's doing. Wasn't great wave selection, but it's 2 scores, I guess, and that might beat one big score if that's all that they get, because Nick Vasicek hasn't even had a wave yet.
Not yet. No, I think that's a wise move on Murray's. He's got that mid-sized score. Wanted to get rid of that 1.07. He got it on that wave. He will, no doubt, get the required score to. He only needed a 2.08 to. Take the lead. Obviously, Jagger's only got that one wave, so yeah, he will move up the ranks, and it's a very tricky game to play. Wait too long, as we're seeing Vassar. He must be stressing.
Yeah, I just hope he pulls it off. I've got a soft spot for the D-Bar board riders, and I want to see them do well. And I just hope Nick, that wave that he's waiting for, comes through to him. So. You know how many times I've seen it from home, from the lineup. He just is magic out there. He just may be waiting for something that mightn't be coming. It's tough.
Yeah, there's big lulls going on, and we're seeing that change of swell. So change of strategy is crucial.
I can see him now. I can see yellow. He's moved wider, but here we go. We've got Jagger up and riding, and it does a nice long float. He just wants to put one in the bank now, and he does. He gets a nice snap there. It's got a kind of a short section here. It will stop soon, but he's just going to surf it safe because all he has to do is back up that 9 and he flicks out.
I think that was a great strategy again from Jagger.
Smart.
Yeah, not a big wave, but he's able to raise the bar and surf above the wave and be able to draw extra additional points out of the wave, and did exactly that with really powerful, solid snaps going on. So, yeah, that's going to be a very healthy backup score, no doubt, with that 9-1 in the bank already. So
he's moved. You know, I can see Vassar now. He's moved quite wide. He's actually going to take this wave. He's like, I can't wait anymore. I've got to get in this heat. So he comes off the bottom, and he's been ripping lately on the face too. I tell you, I've been watching him. Look at this board he's riding, looks good, and a couple floaters in succession, big round, wrapping. But it's not a great wave. I guess he had to get on the board, but
had to, yeah.
But, you know, it's going to be in that 4 or 5 region, I'm thinking. Hopefully more. You never know.
I look forward to seeing the replay. You can see the frustration being just unleashed on those first couple of turns.
Yeah.
And, you know you've been sitting there idle too long. Here we go. It comes off the bottom. Bang, big backhand crack. Really puts a lot in. He's looking down the line. He's keeping an eye on that line, the lip line, but he's keeping busy on that lip line. And unfortunately, didn't connect down onto the little Marley section. But he had to do that. He had to take that wave. And that will be, no doubt, a backup wave if he can get back out, hold that priority. We've got just on 5 minutes remaining. You know, the timing's going to be up against him now. But
with these scores, it'll be his backup. You know, now he needs a big score. There's no doubt about it. I'm surprised he didn't run around and jump off, to tell you the truth. There must be a little bit of reverse rip left, but maybe none, actually. I think it's gone now. Well, we've got a little bit of current going the other way coming around the back of the point. So once he gets up a bit higher, he's going to be paddling against the rip. So I dare say, I don't know, the runaround could have been the choice, but what happens there is you jump off the rock and all the guys have got priority. So maybe not a good choice. Yeah, he's probably looking for a wider set coming through. Probably that's what he's thinking. Hopefully a wide set's going to come. Because even though if there was no priority like we do in the club contest, though we'll always run around and jump off the rock because like free surfing, guys, you jump off the rock, get the inside, you got priority.
There might be something out the back keeping, from here you can see out behind the rocks, or hopefully, might see that finally a bit of a set start to push through. But yeah, you're right. I mean, those other guys in front of him out there, they have got priority. So he's going to try and snavel another wave wide on the inside, which we know can happen, especially if there's a wide bomb set and it sort of shuts down on behind the rock. And he's just, no doubt, throwing that dice out there and hoping that's going to pay off for him.
That will happen, yeah. He's actually paddling inside Pink, which surprises me.
Yeah.
So Pink's got him on block right now. As soon as you paddle past someone with priority, they've got you on check.
Yep.
It's just, I guess, the rip. He wanted to kind of thinking that guy in Pink is sitting way too wide. Obviously, Pink's in third priority, so that's why he's sitting that wide. But actually, Nick gets a 7-1. They didn't mind that. So that's higher, way higher than I thought. So that's generous, but Nick will take that all day long. He'll now and just hold him. I don't think he'd be in first priority yet, but probably in third. But he's like just going to sit there and just work his way up the lineup as priority unfolds. But it probably won't unfold that much because we haven't got a whole lot of time for priority to start switching out. Maybe one more set if we're lucky.
Well, 1.5 minutes remaining. Maybe something out the back there. Maybe this sort of wide wave. Let's have a look. There's a bit of a paddle. This is
Nick's actually going to go, and I would. Yes, he is. He's like, okay, no one wants that. I'll take it. Can he get enough speed to get down this line? He's bouncing. He's bouncing. He's got to float over it. He can get around it, but it's split. Ooh. It's split on him. And now Jagger's taking the wave behind. That's more the wave that Vassar wanted, but Jagger had priority over him anyway and kind of just does a little bit of a wheelie there.
He's just having to play with it.
He's just having to play, and he tries an air reverse, and his heat's done. He's won.
Yep.
One and done right there. So Snapper Rocks will be happy about that, as I am. Yes, a proud Snapper Rocks member. Been in the club for over 30 years, and the club does such good work. Mont and Lorraine just tirelessly work. And lucky they went on vacation recently to the Maldives, 6 months, and they called her the Queen of the Maldives. No one surfs more than Lorraine, and she's a gorgeous, really nice woman. Just does so much for the kids, Rocky.
Well, looks like this is the final seconds of this heat. We'll let this unravel. This is Nick Callister throwing the gauntlet down in the end. He's needing a 4.6 to get himself into position, but, well, we'll let this count in, and straight after that we will be going down. It's 5, 4, 3,
Oh,
2,
here we
1.
go on the countdown. Hang on a second. This is a wave. I don't know if he got it before the heat, but it didn't matter. He's in second.
Yep.
It was a nice looking wave. Just kind of thins out though with this low tide, and it's just going to close on him there. So it wasn't as good a wave as I thought, but good heat there from Jacob Bartholomew and Murray Scott.
Well done.
Rocky.
It won't make any difference, so we will go straight down to Cooper Chapman, of course, the winner of the previous heat, and a great display from, once again, one of the local lads, Dexter Muskins.
All right, we're down here with Dexter Muskins, winner of not the last heat before, but mate, you put on an absolutely stellar performance. 9-point ride, 8-point ride. How good is the surf and snapper like this with no one out?
Oh, you can't beat it. Thought the tide was going to be ebbing out a bit in that heat, but I saw the heat before went a bit slow, so I knew we were going to be on.
Yeah, yesterday it seemed like the local boys had a bit of trouble out there with conditions a bit shifty, a bit more wind on it. It makes it a bit harder, but when it's clean like this, mate, you just get to tee off on an open canvas. How was it for you? You've been injured for quite some time, getting to throw the Rashi back on and still know you've got it with some big scores. How good's that feel?
Yeah, it was pretty surreal. Had a few scrappy heats, but that one was nice to feel out a couple good scores, and yeah, I've still got it, which is nice.
Mate, well, you're on fire. The weekend is going to be absolutely pumping. I can't wait. The team's challenge is going to be good to surf in, and mate, we're going to be seeing you in the individuals. Can't wait for that. Well done, mate.
Unreal. Thanks, guys. Cheers.
All right, we're going to be throwing it straight back to break. Don't go anywhere after this. The next heat is going to be pumping. See you guys soon.
Welcome back to the show. This is the Usher Cup World Club Challenge, and we've been watching some unbelievable performances today as those established clubs and their top surfers have been hitting the lineup, and we've just seen an amazing performance from Jagger Bartholomew, dropping some big turns and getting himself the big rewards, a 9.1 and a 7.33. Ronnie Blakey here with Oki. Jagger joins us now, mate. Congratulations. Great performance.
Yeah, thank you.
Mate, you had obviously big intentions for this event. You've been victorious in the Champions event here at Snapper Rocks in the past in your Board Riders Club, but uniting with your club and wanting to go out there and put in a big show, it came off beautifully.
Oh, how typical is it though? Like, ironically, it's me and Vassar and Muzz out there, and all three of us are from here, and it just goes flat in our heat. Like there was one wave in our heat, and I was just lucky enough to get it.
I was talking this heat up so big, and then it just ocean, and I was like, actually, when this happens, fireworks, the ocean didn't come to the party.
Like they call, this is going to be the heat of the year, like on the tour, and then it just goes super slow, like chopes or something.
The
like
ocean's
that.
got ease.
Yeah.
Sometimes it doesn't want to play. But Jagger, mate, you were ripping. You got swagger. How bad do you want this?
Yeah, like I keep saying, I got second the first year and then third last year, and I've just been going backwards. But I think I'm in a really good place maturely, and I'm coming into my manhood. And yeah, I haven't had a drink in 6 months, as you know.
Well done. Yep.
And I'm just so dedicated to turning my vision into a physical existence for all the people around me. Like, that's it. You can't achieve anything great without amazing people around you.
Yeah.
It's really cool, and I'm just very lucky.
Oh, mate, I'd take my hat off to you. You've been doing so well.
Thanks, brother.
And I'm proud of you. And, the the bigger picture too. I mean, how bad do you want it? You know, just these QSs. I know you want it bad. Training the house down. You know, looking forward to the QSs coming up, the regional leg.
Yeah, I just want to win everything.
Yeah.
And like,
obviously you can't win everything. Well, I mean, you never know. But
yeah, you never know, but who knows?
Good goal to have.
Yeah, it is. So it's like you shoot for the stars and end up on the moon or something like that. Yeah. But I don't know. In my mind, the only person I remember is someone who wins everything. Yeah. I actually want to be remembered for, like, if you're gonna do something, you might as well do something to an extreme, and you might as well leave a mark and leave some existence behind you, and especially for the next generation. That's all I care about. Just being such an influence on the next generation for going into manhood and then everything like that, and that's it. I'm a student and a professor at the same time.
Perfect.
Good stuff, mate. Talk to us a little bit about, you know, representing this club, especially now that it's gone international. It's a really big deal. Yeah,
Rabs and Theo, like, bros. Theo, everything Theo touches turns to absolute gold. It's crazy. I ask him all the time, and he's...
I might go shake his hand again.
Yeah, same.
Seriously, bros. And he just said, the only thing I did is I took all negative people out of my life, and that was it.
That's cool.
That's it. So
awesome, mate. Well, it worked out beautifully in that heat. Looks like, you know, you've always been a surfer that possesses a lot of power just with your frame and stuff, but looked like there's some real added punch and power in your turns at the moment, something you've been working on.
I look at my surfing and I never like where I am. It's like I'm such a perfectionist that as soon as I get to a place, it's like, it's yuck to me. I can't stand it, yeah. So it's like, if I'm not moving forward extremely fast, I'm going backwards in my mind. But yeah, just hours upon hours and day after day in the gym. I don't know, just studying for hours at night, and just my coach Adam Duffner, Marcos, my trainer. And I don't know, just solely dedicated everything in my life towards surfing, being a world champion, a multiple world champion, and just creating a great life for me and everyone around me.
Awesome, mate. Well, I know the Snapper Rocks Board Riders Club will be happy that that's your intention for this event, because you guys needed to kind of make up some ground. Obviously, a couple of shortcomings for the bigger clubs, and that was an important heat win.
I was kind of shocked that Mitch and Kobe didn't get through, especially Kobe, because every single time Kobe's always like our anchor in every team's event. She's always the one that's getting the great waves, and I was just like, I was astounded that she didn't get through.
Will you make up for it, Jags?
Yeah, well, I think Sheldon and I have to do some work.
Yes,
sure.
Definitely. You guys are still going. It's sensational. And that big World Club match tomorrow.
Tomorrow's going to be epic.
It's going to be epic, eh? I can't wait to see that.
That's going to be really
That's when all the teams are going to be down there just cheering and like...
It's every single person from each team's in it.
Yeah.
That's so dope.
And also just some tweaks on the typical board riders event. So I love what your dad's trying to, you know, get happening out here in the Usher Cup, and just seeing more surfing. We've got some replays happening at the moment, but we might relieve you, Jake, so you can get your breath back.
Thanks, bro.
Go and obviously get some big pats on the back from the Snapper Rocks crew after dropping a big 9, and you know, I'm sure you'll find a couple more of those in your next heat.
Thanks, boys.
Good on you, mate.
Go, Jax.
Yeah, great performance. And, just one of the most dedicated Groms you'll ever come across, and hoping for the big finish at the Usher Cup this year. But, the action rolls on here as we move into Heat 12. Archer Curtis out there for M&M. And, big scores have been coming in every heat today. 7.83 for Archer in the early stages. Still looking for that backup number. He's got the best of it at the moment.
It was a good wave running. You know, I was looking at that wave during, the interview with Jagger. And it was some of the kind of better backhand surfing I've seen today. It was nice and tight, really smooth. No catching of the rail, just one little one, and he received that high 7, and it's a great way to start the heat.
Sure is, mate. Yeah, also out there at the moment, Caleb Cutmore for New Zealand. He's out there in the pink. Will Morrison of Currumbin Alley in the yellow. Zane Jenner of Point Lookout is out there in the orange. And Will Morrison's in a pretty good position at the moment. 6.5. He's in third. He'll want to change that, but he only needs a 2.33 to jump up in a second. And, yeah, we'd back him to do it just on 12 minutes to go here.
Tide's really filling in now, Ronnie. You can see the water moving around the rock there. I mean, it happens on 2 situations when the swell gets big. A little bigger than this, we get a big, strong current, or even it doesn't have to be that big. If it's quite south, the current will rip around even when it's 2 foot. But it's probably, in the 3 to 4 foot range maybe, and this is a wide wave going really wide. Who's going to get it? Maybe Green right down the line. Archer gets to the end, and it doesn't seem like he's got a whole wall in it right now, but he's going to stick with it.
Yeah, he's taking a chance on it doing something. He was in the 4th position for priority, so nothing lost in having a crack at this thing down the line. He's let go of a couple of decent snaps. Behind him is Will Morrison for Currumbinelli in the yellow, and his wave looking a little more promising as he bashes through the lip a couple of times here. Nice finish there, throws the combo together on the end section.
Very nice. You see, Ronnie, that's the leftovers bank. The swell that we had that washed away. So there's a big chunk over there. That's why the left comes back at him. Usually here it'll just stay perfect the whole way to Coolangatta, but it won't do it at the moment because we've got a big clump of sand out of there. That's sitting over there, that's got washed from the last swell, the sand that was behind Snapper. So that's what happens here, and it takes a while for that to move. Sometimes if it's a huge swell and we get a real big chunk out over there, it takes a year or so to get rid of it.
Yeah, right. Well, you know what? I don't think the competitors are minding it too much at the moment because
it shortens the ride.
He's kind of preventing them from going too far down the line, and also giving them something with a little bit of meat to chew on at the end of the ride.
And it's true. Good point. I mean, they don't want the wave to go any further because that's a long run. We haven't got skis or a long paddle. So yeah, the boys are running around now. You've got to be fit. And there's 2 of them running around, yellow and green. It's no game for the faint-hearted. You've got to be fit. You've got to be on your game. You've got to get on that rock and jump off.
Yep. Absolutely love it. And I've also just been super impressed with the numbers that we've been seeing drop today. We got our first 10-point ride ever in the Usher Cup. Troy Brooks getting barreled out there, throwing down a nice carve, comboed it up beautifully and got himself that perfect score. Great to see.
Great to see, wasn't it? The boys is running there. They're going to jump off the rock.
Here we go, Zane Jenner on the inside. What a finish that was.
Sorry, no one saw that.
No, just was watching that off screen. But yeah, Zane Jenner just, he had to make a move. He'd been a little quiet in the opening stages of this one. Just 9 minutes to go. He only had a 1-point ride, but that's going to help his chances.
Yeah, I kind of saw it out of the corner of my eye. It was something big, and hopefully we'll get it for you on the replay. See him paddling back out there. But like I said, the tide's coming in and the water's coming around the rock. The boys are kind of having to paddle against it now. And the wave will kind of get better, Ronnie. Like there won't be those typical barrels behind the rock, but the wave will have more body to it when it gets higher. And now that it's gotten bigger, those 4-footers will pretty much stay 4 foot running down the line, which will be great when the tide comes back in.
Oh, I love your predictions there, Rock. Absolutely love them. Mate, been rare to have a little break to actually just sort of go off on our little tangents as well. But, it's pretty fun these days being able to come down and just watch the level of surfing and get amped for your own heats. But I used to love getting psyched up, watching vids back in the day, surf vids, and you featured in some of my favourites. I love your section
thank you.
In Pump, the documentary, one of my favourite films.
Thanks,
but who do you like watching surf? Who gets you psyched?
Yeah, the top dogs at the moment. It's Tullo. Gabriel Mate is my favourite, just because he's smooth. Tullo, I mean, he's right up there. It's close. The goofies, and
is it always a goof?
Well,
like your favourite
usually,
to get
it's just because
easier to relate.
It's easier to relate to. Yeah, it's. And here we go, up and riding.
Oh, good looking. Couple of set waves here. And it's Caleb Cutmore, the Kiwi, on the outside, whipping his board through a beautiful hook there. Yeah, I like that. I like that. You know,
it's hard to relate, you know, because I mean, I love the natural footers. Like, don't get me wrong, like Ethan, like he's just so smooth and that, but I can't relate watching him go right. I can kind of relate watching him go left a little bit more. Like, you know, he has got a really good backhand. He doesn't get a lot of chance to use it, but it's easier, you know, because when you see Goofies go right, you're like, okay,
yeah,
you know.
Yeah. I understand that. That makes sense. But yeah, it's cool. I've got to say, probably when I start thinking the same way about who I like watching to get me amped, usually it's another regular footer.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, it's just cool. You kind of don't have to wait for the edits to be put together and all the footage to be collected these days. I mean, you see enough in competition, enough highlights to get amped, but yeah, just the clips rolling through on
social media.
On social
media.
You
don't need anything. The poor magazine companies and everything, and even the movies now. I mean, like, I love going down and sit down and see a movie, and I will do so, but you know, like sometimes you've seen the best part.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I mean, there's been some amazing releases.
I love the movies that don't show nothing. You know, like I mean, what are they doing lately? I saw an image of Justine DuPont at Cortez out of Banks. I mean, we're going to see some kind of movie over this last big swells that have hit the Northern Hemisphere, right? I mean,
there's that big documentary, isn't there? The 100-foot wave. That's going to be huge. But
maybe they found it in that swell.
Yeah, I'm with you. I know what you're saying. I like it when the vision is withheld, and probably the best example of that in recent times is Noah Dean's recent flick, Nosvid. That's just been so celebrated, and basically, he was surfing. There was the odd clip dropping, but he kind of disappeared off social media almost a little bit for a period of time there, and what a welcome back it's been. I mean, his vid is huge, and all his peers, surfers at the championship tour level, are talking about it. Just so powerful, huge airs, just that great raw punk air style, and just some really freakish looking waves as well.
Oh, local boy too. I mean, he's moved from here, and we haven't seen him here for a while now. And the Dean family, there was Wayne Dean, a legend from here, and his brother Jimmy. There's Colleen, Wayne's partner, who's still here, and she's often at Snapper and see her in town a lot. Lovely lady. But yeah, Noah, he grew up at a young age ripping. He's never competed, never really wanted to give it a good crack competing, and he's never actually really gone in a serious event. And what a free surfer. Got to be one of the best free surfers in the world there, Ronnie.
Yeah, amazing. I mean, he had some big performances at Pipe in some of the specialty events there. But yeah, I loved watching that. That's one clip or feature that, you know, recently has got me pretty psyched to surf. But
I heard you talking earlier. I heard about your 10-point ride in 3 different parts.
Yeah. Just broke it into to 3. You know, it was 3 point, 3 threes.
that equals 10.
Yeah.
He's like, your son's like, Dad, you got 10.
Yeah, he was watching live heats. We were actually looking at and talking about just what a great service live heats is for board riders clubs, and just how it's really relieved the pressure on volunteers and the judging panel to get the numbers right and to add those sheets up. And they've done a fantastic job, and we thank them. We're using live heats for this event.
We use it. Yeah, we use it at Snapper Club too. It's sensational, this event.
You can tap into your own little profile too on live heats and see how you've been scoring. And I like to look back on those 3-point rides.
You're always talk yourself down, Ronnie, mate. But don't believe him, because he's got game.
Oh, thanks, Ock.
He has.
Appreciate
I've seen it firsthand.
Maybe I can sneak out there. The ways are good while you're out there in the water for the Legends Heat. Oh, someone's going to have to talk you through it.
Oh, no.
But that just looks like it's going to be so much fun.
It is.
As we see Archer Curtis again. Love the way he draws this board back into the bowl before approaching the lip each time.
Yeah, I love the bottom turn. Really good bottom turn, and that is the base of your surfing right there, your bottom hand turn, and he does it ever so good. And here's it's Will right behind him. He's a little bit behind it, but this is a good section right here, and a big snap. Yeah, kind of had to do that big snap. He could have raced it, but the wave was getting small, so fit one big turn before it's all over, and he done it very nicely.
Really nice little bash through the lip there on the inside. You were talking about it earlier. Once you get to that low tide, those smaller waves,
they really cup out.
Yeah, they cup out. It's a difficult kind of section to, repeatedly hit. When you're coming down the transition steep, you're trying to find some room to really extend through those turns. But let's see the replay of it.
Yeah, if you get a good bottom turn, it just gives you a really good top turn. And he done 3 of them right there. Look nice, low. Bottom turn, get you there late. Ooh, sorry. Right behind him in yellow. Saw a bit of a big set out of the corner of my eye, Ronnie. I know I'm not allowed to do that, but this is the end of it right here.
Yeah, well, he's got some work done already, Zane Jenner. He's hanging on to a 6.7. He does need a score. Got a couple of scores to lock in, but prior to those last rides, he was after a 7.31. And this one's standing up on the inside. Whammo gets at least one fin free there. So pushing that board almost to the point of complete release.
Good. Well surf wave.
Time's ticking by on this one, oh.
It is. This is a big, consistent set. Went through there now. It looks like it's come in with the tide.
So 7.13 is the requirement for point lookouts.
I wonder.
Zane Jenner.
I wonder. Well, I'd have to actually see that on replay because I saw it out of the corner of my eye. He did get it wide. It was a big set. Yeah, I don't know if he'd done a whole lot out the back, though. No, we'll try and cue a replay up there. We've got some grinding barrels behind the rock.
Yeah, there is some serious opportunity to be had out there. Someone's going to tap into some
and
big
another
hits.
one behind the rock.
And Caleb Cutmore is going to have to make a move here at some point. Will Morrison down the line looking to just lock up that second position. Archer Curtis holding onto the lead. Nice looking clean wall stretching out forever. This one's starting to just maybe slow up, but he should get that that other opportunity down there. Yeah, if he gets going, he might even make it past that oncoming left.
I always like, Ronnie, when they, it's pipe and they always rate it, like what is it out of 10? And I always... Yeah. Or wherever it is, because I like to know, like, what are the locals thinking? How good is it right now? And I bet people give it to me, you say, and people are probably wondering now. And I'd probably give it a 5 out of 10 for Snapper right now. Yeah,
that's pretty good. It's a good 5.
It's a good 5. Let's say,
yeah. Mid to high range 5. But here we go. We've got some replays for you here. Man, Archer Curtis, he might still be going. On his way down.
A 5 on how good it gets, what I mean?
100%. Yeah, I like it. There's nothing wrong with the conditions. It is a dream to get the opportunity to surf out here today in a heat. But you're right, this place, it has so much more to show. And that's just how special it is. So still waiting on some numbers to come through. As you can see, though, it is looking like Archer Curtis and Caleb Cutmore are going to hang on and progress through to the next round. You're watching the Usher Cup World Club Challenge, and we got more action coming your way right after this. Welcome back, everyone. Hope you're loving the show as much as we're loving bringing it to you. The World Club Challenge, the Usher Cup We're right in the depths of it now. Round 2, heat 13 out there in the lineup. Pumping waves, about a 5 out of 10 for Snapper Rocks. Hockey is calling, and during the ad break there, we saw a couple of highlight rides of Sheldon Simkus on what would be considered probably 10 out of 10 conditions.
Yeah, they're 10 out of 10,
plus.
those conditions, for sure. It's funny. But this heat is interesting right here.
It sure
Jeff
is.
Deffenbach, I remember this man competed against him way back, like in the 80s. I don't know how old he'd be. He'd have to be around my age. He's got to be in his 50s, and he's surfing for Huntington Beach. And also we've got Mamoto Suzuki for Japan. Lincoln Taylor, I know he surfs really good backhand out here. Seen a lot of him. He's from North Stradbroke. And we've got Steve Robinson from Maui. So it's a very mixed heat here, Ronnie. And joined us is Cooper. How are you, man?
This is fully probably the most international heat we've had. We've got surfers from all different countries. Hawaii, I mean, I guess 2 from America you could call, but we'll call Hawaii their own little zone.
Oh, you got to give Hawaii.
You got to give them sovereignty for
sovereignty. Sure. I love the backdoor shootout, and I love those stories about, sovereignty and the history of Hawaii, and I'd love to see it go back.
Most definitely.
To Hawaii.
Look, another thing that makes this so interesting, aside from being one of those truly international heats, is the fact that this is what Board Riders is all about. You've got your senior kind of competitor in Jeff, a veteran who used to just soak up so much ink in the pages of surf magazines around the world back in the day. And then you've got little Stevie, baby Robertson. He's not a baby anymore. He's actually had bigger barrels than, probably all my barrels combined. He's had single rides that are bigger. Just an absolute charger.
Whoa, and there's Jeff Deffenbach with a huge layback.
Yeah, Jeff.
Yeah, nailed that wave right there. It looks like he's riding a longer board, but it kind of works right there.
And, it's just awesome to see all those different age divisions represented in this heat.
Yeah, and look at this one. He's picked it up from deep and got that nice little sidewinder. Really leant into that first turn, got on the back foot. Took his time, wasn't rushing at all. Once again, dragging through that turn. And like that drive off the bottom and just a bit of patience was really nice to see. Like you said, a little bit longer board looked like it's working.
Yeah, kind of old school, but I love it. Like he's patient right there and just really drew that layback out. And I hope the judges like it because they did. They've already scored it. A 7-point ride. Nice way to start, Jeff.
Oh, that is so cool. He was relishing the opportunity because obviously, you compete at that elite level. You know it. You watch it evolve. You become a huge fan of the sport, and you're watching everything. And Jeff was telling me, I've just seen so many heats here at Snapper Rocks, and to be given the opportunity to put the jersey on now after all that history I've watched unfold, to come out here is a massive opportunity. And he's had to marinate on these pumping conditions all day, so I'm sure the nerves were pretty high for him.
You feel like he's dreaming right now. Is this really happening? Like, what a classic.
I'm dreaming. I'm dreaming. But, let's check in with the winner of the last heat with True Starling.
Thanks so much, guys. I'm here with Archer Curtis from M&M Board Riders. Archer, you took out the last heat and you had a blitzer of a time out there.
Yeah, it's super fun waves. So good with no one out. Like, I don't know. I've never surfed it like that with no one out, so it's sick.
Have you ever competed in a contest here at Snapper before, and how does your mindset change from being in a contest and a free surf?
Yeah, I've competed in a couple, and I know it's a lot more pressure to make your turns, so you're just focusing a lot more on what you're doing, and try not to think about it too much, otherwise you just fall off. I fall off every time, so just trying to stay relaxed and focus on what I need to do, not get too far ahead of myself.
And you've got the Teams Challenge coming up tomorrow, which everyone's super excited for. How are you and your team going to adjust to that different format to progress through that one?
Not sure really, just make sure all our surfers are keen and ready to go and give it our best crack, I guess that's it.
Awesome, well good luck for the rest of the event.
Thank you.
Thank you, True. Fire up, Archer. Get the team ready, mate. He looked really sharp and riding one of Will Webber's boards, looked like.
Wow, yeah. Classic.
Will shaped Morgan Siblick's boards that saw him graduate to the championship tour, and yeah, he's obviously part of an amazing
poor
surfing
True, she would have got wet right there. Sorry to interrupt, Ronnie. Bit of a shower coming through right now. and it's cooled down a bit. We've had it really hot here on the Gold Coast the last couple of weeks. A very mild summer. The first real heat we've felt all season, really. And we had a really cold winter up here on the Gold Coast. So
A lot of southerlies, huh?
a lot of southerlies, trade winds, perfect
A lot
waves.
of swell as a result. But have a look. It's howling, almost blowing Lincoln Taylor across the rocks there.
I got big props for Lincoln. I mean, like, I seriously think he could have been the third guy from North Australia to make the tour because, you know, he'd done the QS for a little while and, you know, had some results, and he's kind of resigned himself to not doing it anymore. But great surfer, Kuba. How do you like the way he surfs?
Yeah, I think Lincoln rips. I was actually lucky enough to spend a few years on that Prime tour back in the day with him. It kind of makes me feel old now thinking like back in the day getting to compete. But yeah, back in my early 20s, Lincoln was kind of right in his prime. Spent a few years on that Prime tour, surfing at that top level of the qualifying series. And like you said, definitely had a few results. But, I mean, it's a bit of a slog, and some people just go, you know what? I want to go and live a normal life, and it's pretty good here in Australia. And up at Point Lookout, North Stradbroke Island, it is absolutely beautiful. So Lincoln said, you know what, I'm going to live that nice life back in Oz. And speaking to him before, after his last heat win, he's just stoked to get to come and surf snapper, throw the rashi back on, and he said it's like riding a bike. Once he put that rashi back on, those competitive juices started flowing again, and he wasn't taking any prisoners out there. And once again, it looks like he's finding a bit of form, and a pretty slow start to this heat, just that one wave for Jeff. 7-point ride, Lincoln open with the 5.33, and we'll wait and see what the last one comes through up, but looking very comfortable out there on his back end.
He sure is.
I love it. Yeah, just strong. Also, that wave that he absolutely blew apart, it was kind of hip high. Wasn't one of the biggest set waves. So just look to see him tap into one of those taller walls, and you'll see some big, big turns laid down. But your old mate Jeff is hanging in there at the moment. Ock in the #1 position, getting it done for Huntington Beach, and no doubt that's going to have Chris Marino and the rest of the team absolutely cheering.
And I guess there's Pod and, you know, Brett Simpson over there in Huntington Beach. It's getting late there now. They'd probably be still up. I guess it's probably late evening for California, but I'm guessing they're up. Having a couple quiet ones, watching one of their teammates.
No doubt.
I think I can hear him cheering from here. Is that California?
Love it. Yeah, no, this has been a great performance already. Jeff's just got to back this up, and he'll put some real pressure on his opponents in this one. Stevie's out there fighting that current now. That sweep seems to have kind of flicked, and it is pushing a little more down the line now.
Yeah, we've had reverse sweep all morning, which is pretty rare. You'd be able to tell us that, Ock.
It's two in one day, you mean?
Yeah, I mean, 2 in 1 day, but the reverse sweep is probably like 20% of the time, and usually we get this big sweep down the line like this.
Yeah. So, there's a nice one from
one barreling
there,
behind the rock.
Sorry, Cooper. Yeah, I thought you meant, do you see it often like reverse in the morning and then come the other way? We do see it a bit on southerly changes. I was talking earlier, I remember a quickie event, and it was reverse in the morning and sloppy northeast swell, and then the howling southerly came, and a east-southeast groundswell came over the top of it, like it did today, but even bigger than this. And I would never forget that heat that Bruce had. But yeah, it happens here. Like, you know, like it's just a leftover north swell, and then the southerly comes through, the lows out there, and it'll just cross right over it. So it does happen, and it's a good day when that happens.
Yeah, I mean, there's the inside scoop from Ocky. But yeah, it was interesting when I was out there for my heat before. Normally you're used to coming off a wave and really searching for that runaround, which we're seeing guys do now. But in my heat, it was so quick to paddle back out. I literally paddled and straight back out, which is pretty rare usually. Yeah,
no, definitely. I like it better like in the reverse rip. It's like a rip bowl kind of thing, you know, and it's easy. You just don't have to paddle back out. And when it's really big out here in reverse rip, it's heavy. Like, you do not want to get sucked behind there. A couple of days, it's like 8-10 feet. And it's handling it because it's high tide and you're surfing wide, but you do not want to get sucked back there because there's no coming back.
It's like Haleiwa.
Yeah, like Haleiwa, and it gets scary. And
like Haleiwa.
And I love it. Yeah, well, like Haleiwa, exactly. But yeah, we get days like that out here. It's scary. Yeah, and I remember, like, I don't know, was it last year or something? And you know, it's so hard to get out. Just so consistent east-northeast swell. 8 foot, 10 foot, and this chick was out there on a mal that could hardly paddle, and I said, how did you get out here? And she's like, acted like it, she does it all the time. I'm like, it's dangerous. I'm like, you should go in, you do not want to get sucked out there. And she thought I was kind of telling her off, and she got weird, and I just had to paddle away going, Well, you see all kinds and all types, but I did not know how she got out the back.
Paddle power.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, we got 9.5 minutes remaining in this one. Been a little slow. Lincoln Taylor's put up another score here. He's got a 6.57, a 5.33. And Jeff's hanging on to second spot. He really wants that backup score. Mamoto Suzuki for Japan is currently in third position. Steve Robertson has not really factored into this heat. He wants to make a move soon. As we see there, Mamoto having a look at one. Behind him is Jeff looking for the backup score. Just transitioning, tight carpet in the face of this one. Rips through a nice carve, gets back in front of it. Exploding out of the pocket a couple of times. Just has that down the line flow happening and an explosive finish to this one. That's what he needed.
He did. He needed to back that up and served it really well. You know, he's done that huge turn. I thought, oops, he's turned too far. He's not going to make it back around, but he did. He read the wave really well. Obviously, his surf point breaks a lot. I mean, he's well travelled. He was on tour for a couple, maybe not 2 years, but definitely one back in the day, and we can see it right there. We can see his talent. He's still got it.
Ooh, and here we go, Steve Robeson. He's been waiting a long time for this one. Just 8 minutes remaining. It's a big set wave and flying down the line. Great first turn, tight in the pocket. Pulling the second one all the way around. He's going to have to start picking up some speed here and gets one tight turn to finish. So getting himself on the board. First wave of the heat for Steve Robeson from over in Maui. And, yeah, he's going to put himself in the heat now.
Yeah, he had to make a move, didn't he? Just 8 minutes to go. You want to give yourself plenty of time to get that second score. You don't want your rivals creeping too far ahead. But
definitely being told by his team to be patient. There's good waves out there. Don't go any half good waves, and he did that. I mean, it was good wave selection.
True Starling's down there on the point at Snapper Rocks, watching things unfold. What do you got for us, True?
Thanks, Rodney. I'm down here with Amuro Suzuki. Amuro, your brother Mamoto is out there, and it looks like it's really fun. How was his approach for this heat?
I just want you to him just win, but it's getting windy right now and rainy, so maybe it will be challenge, but go for it for him.
And you're involved with the Chasing Waves series for Disney Plus. How exciting is that for you?
Yeah, I'm super excited to start in Snapper, and yeah, I just have fun. Yeah.
Awesome. Thanks for the chat, Amuro, and good luck to Momo too.
Thank you. Go Momoto.
Thank you, True. Amuro Suzuki there, just watching things unfold.
Kambate, that's what you say, True. Means good luck. I know a bit of Japanese after all the years competing over there. Well, definitely, I know good luck because that's what they say to you, right? There's only a couple of words, and I know how to say excuse me and a couple other things. But, yeah, she's a good surfer, that girl, Amura. She's not great with her English yet, but she done pretty well in some CTs a couple of years ago, didn't she?
Oh, she's had some big scores, some solid results. Also got herself a bronze medal at the Olympics.
Yeah.
And she's got her bro out there at the moment, Mamoto Suzuki, who wants to put up some good scores here. He's got a chip away. Stevie has got himself in this heat. The surfer from Maui dropping a 6.23, chipping away at the requirement. Jeff's out in front. The veteran just showing great wave selection out there at this point in time. And he's hanging on to a 7 and a 6.03. Link Taylor needs a 6.47. Stevie's after a 5.68 to jump up in a second spot. It's all going down.
You like it, don't you, Coops?
I'm just in awe of how good it's been. I was just sitting here thinking, like, what a day. All day it's just improved pretty much the whole day. And you look at the replay right now. We're just watching, as a surfer, this is what you draw when you're a kid. 2 to 4 foot, perfect size that you can do whatever you want. It's not that size that's scary.
Yep.
It's not too small that you're kind of having to build and work for speed. It's that size where you're really getting pushed down the line and you can open up but get a bit of flair going, as we see Mamoto Suzuki from over in Japan trying to get something going but not quite finding his flow out there right now in this heat, having a bit of trouble, the Japanese surfer. But as he said, Steve Robeson picking up a 6.23, really throwing his hat in the ring and giving himself a shot going into the final 5 minutes. He'll want to be surfing on the weekend here at the Usher Cup 2023. First ever World Club Challenge. Weekend's going to be exciting. I can't wait.
You know what gets me psyched, Oki, is when you've got your senior kind of veteran competitors in your board riders club, and they really flare up and deliver in a big way. We're seeing it from Jeff here for Huntington Beach at the moment. We saw it from Russell Maloney.
I was going to say
Shelley.
Russell yesterday because I was at home watching that heat, and Russell always stands up.
Yeah,
like
he's
in the
awesome.
Australian board riders battle and that. He's the master division, and he's getting the scores. I love that guy, and I love the Indigenous whole crew, and I thought maybe they should have had a team in this. I'm just throwing it out there. And I'd like to ask,
it's a possibility, yeah. It's
ask
going to mean
Theo that, we've got all the international flags. I'd love an Aboriginal flag up there, and I would love an Indigenous team in this event.
That's an awesome call. It's going to hurt a couple of the clubs with their Indigenous surfers in their team already.
Yeah, take them out. They'll be gone. They'll be in the Indigenous team, and I'm just throwing it out there. I'm going to have a talk to Theo about it because I think it's really important. What do you think, Kurt?
I think guarantee. I mean, you got Solly Bailey. He'll definitely be keen to surf. Russ Maloney, Otis Carey. Is it's a guy from Coffs.
Little Lungy that surfs here. Lungy, the local kid.
Joey Haddon.
Be great in the team.
Joey Haddon, Jakey Sharp. There is a long list of amazing surfers. Yeah, Summer, she's another talent.
We've forgot about the women. Thanks, True. Don't forget the women, she's saying.
And there's a long list too.
Summer Rips, yeah.
There is some...
and Jalan, we've got Jalan Slab there. Good surfer, shaper.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it'll be great to see an Indigenous team next year. I'm throwing it out there, and I reckon I'll get my wish. I'm just calling.
I reckon you'll get your wish too. I think rightly so. And as we see, Lincoln Taylor really squaring up on this one. That thing looks like point lookout. He knows exactly what he's doing on his backhand. He's got such a great coil and spring backside. It's something that I feel like you see more goofy guys have than regular.
Yeah, well, because there's so many more right-hand points in the world. You kidding me? The wave that he grows up on, I don't know if I'm allowed to talk too much about cylinders, but, it's an awfully good right-hander, and he's learnt his backhand right there. And, you see it.
Yeah, it's, what it is, I think, for a long time there was probably an oversupply of right-handers on the tour. The goofy footers were forced to really evolve their backhand surfing. We're all watching all those events, obviously, goofy footers in particular. Like you said, Ock, you're relating to what you see from your heroes at the elite level, and Lincoln.
Oh, are you kidding me, Ronnie? The technique is impeccable. But seriously, I was going to write a song about it. It's all about right-hand points and left-hand slabs. That's what the world has. Nothing else.
True. Yeah, I know you found some great lefts around the world, though, that, as you said before about that break-up at North Stratty, we won't talk about them too much. But, that was a great ride for Lincoln. 8.17 was the score, and he just went absolutely flying past Jeff into first place.
Speaking of Masters, Masters putting on a show, North Narrabeen Master coming up. Can you call him a Master? I think he'll be a Grommet division forever.
Yeah, he'll take that thing off there and ride up the beach out for his heat.
I was going to say that. Not too many people can ride an exercise bike from one destination to the other.
He could.
But Hedgie pedals that hard. He might just do it. He might just break free the stand and just power up the surface.
I saw that happening, I thought I could envision that.
But it's got a minute to go here. Jeff Davenbar is trying to hang on to this second position.
Here we go. That's hilarious. I've just got the picture of that happening and I can't stop giggling.
Yeah. Stevie's after
a
number still.
To draw, wouldn't it?
Yeah. No wheels, no worries for Hedgie. He's going to still be rolling on down the beach as we see. Last-ditch effort for Steve Robson. We can hear the hooter in the background. Your screen timer is a little bit delayed. Looks like we're going to see Lincoln Taylor, point lookout, taking that one out, and the Huntington Beach surfer coming in second. Great to see some of those older competitors from international getting a chance, and that's going to take us to the end of this one. We're going to be coming back very shortly with another heat. We've got 3 heats left here today. Do not go anywhere.
Welcome back to the show. Set waves approaching as we now move into heat 14 of the second round. And conditions are ideal, and expecting that as that tide pushes in, there's even a couple of taller walls for our surfers to attack. But we've been seeing big numbers drop all day. It's been a thrilling day of competition here. Day 2 of the Usher Cup. Ronnie Blakey with Cooper Chapman, also now joined by Wayne Rabbit Bartholomew, co-founder of the event. And Bugs, how cool was that? Huntington Beach getting a surfer into the next round with their veteran competitor, Jeff Deffenbaugh. Unbelievable showing.
Just so stoked. I mean, that is just so awesome, man. And then what a tough heat. I mean, Quinn Bruce was blowing up this morning, and young Ken Crisp, he put on a great show in the round 1. Shane Holmes, solid as a rock.
Mate, isn't he? What? Eh? Just the ultimate tradesman.
Yeah.
Concreter.
If there was a tradesman surfing world title to be had, Shane would be in contention every year for sure.
Oh, yeah.
He's an animal.
Yep.
And here we go, lead foot, big, strong first turn, straight up into the lip. Really opening up on that third turn. I love that one. And 4, just like that, getting out the back of that one. He's going to try and follow his competitor, Russ Maloney, who blew up earlier, as we see Mikey Clayton-Brown surfing for Merriweather. Mikey's a very, very solid surfer. I think he's going to be one to watch on the regional QS this year. I'm pretty sure he's pretty high up there on the rankings from the events that we have had from last year carrying over. So watch out for him as we see that first wave come in for Shane Holmes, starting off very strong. 7.33 as we look out the back. Yellow is up and riding. You guys can't see it, but I can. He's standing in the pit, and he comes out. So right now we see Quinn Bruce, the local guy. He knows how to find a barrel behind the rock, and a little double up on this one as well.
Yeah, we got that tide turn now. This is going to be some of the best of it. It's really lining up there. That little bit of southeast in the swell, and we've got a full exchange happening here. Quinn Bruce finishing off, starts with the barrel, and puts a nice little bow on the end of that one.
Oh, Bugs, you've kicked the shoes off. Well, you never put them on.
No.
It's so relaxed, the vibe down here. But I can see your toes just twinkling. They're rubbing together, and you're excited by what you're seeing at the moment. A real big push in the energy here.
Yeah, I am. I said Friday, Arvo, I'm hoping to see it really link up and just, get rid of that east-northeast little sort of broken up part down the line and just coming from either behind the rock or next to the rock, but linking through, and we're seeing it.
Well, we've already seen a 10-point ride today. How do you think this one's going to factor in?
Yeah, this is a beauty. It won't be a 10. That he came out through the bottom, not as clean, nowhere near as clean as Troy Brooks, but it'll still. This is clever how he gets onto this new little loop here, though. Cooper. Quinn's always been solid, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's a great surfer, Quinn. He's been in my sort of era for quite some time. I've had some great heats with him. He actually pipped me by about 0.1 at the single fin 2 years ago.
Yeah.
It was like 17.8 to 17.7, so he got that off me. But yeah, he's a brilliant surfer.
And then the next year, he got pipped by Matty Jobs by point nothing. It's classic.
Matty got one back on him for me, but far out. Yeah, great surfer as we saw. Just nice barrel at the start, like you said, a little bit of a chandelier and had to punch out the bottom, but stuck with it, polished it off. As we look up the top of the point, oh my God, it is pumping right now. So as we see, Quinn Bruce, judges liked it, 7.6. I think they really enjoyed that he got some work done after the barrel, because barrel at the start was nice, not the best barrel we've seen today, but finished it up really strong down the inside.
Yep.
Movement on the outside at the moment as we see Shane Holmes, who dropped the 7.33 in his opening ride, take to the lip and just explode through it. Looking down the line, he's going to stick with this one for a moment. Now sort of weighing up his options.
I think the scoring potential on this one was if he was a bit deeper. That's where it all happened.
Yeah, I think blew out right behind the rock, and then he took off the corner of it. Hopefully we see some of these guys, now that they've got an opening score, we've got a 6.67 for Mikey, a 7.6 for Quinn, and a 7.33 already for Shane Holmes, and then he's backed it up now with a 6.27. It's going to allow them to be a bit more patient and hopefully push behind the rock and maybe look for that tubing one from real deep and get blown out right where they've been taken off.
Most definitely. Well, he was busier than a windscreen wiper in that last heat, Lincoln Taylor, just throwing multiple moves down the line here. He's won the heat and he's with True Starling.
Thanks so much, guys. I'm here with Lincoln Taylor from Point Lookout Board Riders. Lincoln, you had a pretty good heat then, and the conditions look like they're getting better.
Yeah, I was definitely lucky enough to get a few good waves. As you can see out there, it's 3-foot snapper and it's pumping, and you get to surf it with 3 other guys. So I think we're all pretty lucky, and obviously thanks to all the sponsors to this event, because I don't know if I'll get to surf snapper again with 3 other people. So yeah, it was fun, and I'm looking forward to tomorrow, and then there's teams events on, so should be making for a good day tomorrow, I think.
How do you maintain that inner grom froth kind of feeling when you're actually surfing pumping snapper with 3 people?
Yeah, it is quite hard actually. As I'm getting a bit older, it's becoming a bit easier. But yeah, you rock up and it's pumping, and it's hard not to over froth, but I don't know. I just get out there and try and catch a couple of waves and see what happens.
Well, good luck to Point Lookout tomorrow, and good luck to you for the rest of the event.
Sweet, thank you.
Thanks, Drew. Yeah, Lincoln Taylor, one of the stars in the draw for sure. Just so dangerous and just a proven performer for the Point Lookout Club.
Yeah, Ronnie. I mean, you think about Lincoln Taylor and Curtis Ewing. I mean, even though Curtis isn't through now, there's a clean little barrel. Oh, wow.
Nice funnel there for Quinn Bruce, and unleashes the tail, sets it free, gets that speed up again. Still attacking this one down the line. Behind him, Mikey Clayton-Brown. He's got a little connection through to the inside too here, Cooper.
Yeah, and I tell you what, I hope we can get a replay of that one. Mikey Clayton-Brown was standing in a barrel and got blown out at the top of that one, and then finishing very strong. I didn't see the whole of the barrel, but from what I saw, that is going to be the biggest wave of the heat, that wave there for Mikey Clayton-Brown.
Wow.
I'm going to go out early and call it. Let's see if we can pick up a replay. Hopefully the judges saw it, because he was way behind the rock, right where Quinn took off, but Mikey got barreled on that deep part rather than Quinn. He had to sort of catch up, and we're going to see a running race here.
Yeah, it's a
Bugs,
rare
you were
one.
trying to take the running out of this event.
Yeah, well, you can't take it out sometimes, but what happens is as soon as it gets a bit of south in the swell, it changes. Because I tell you what, that reverse rip is gone. That is gone.
Yep, it's a battle to get back to the point, whether you're paddling or you're running. But have a look at the replay of Quinn on the outside. Sets up the pit, kicks under it, finds a bit of cover, was visible the whole time, the nose of his board. So, it's not going to be scored as one of the deeper barrels of the event so far. But he did some work down the line here.
Yeah, it's a neat little backup ride for Quinn Bruce. He got that pretty quickly after that first one.
Oos.
He's going to light that back up.
Oh,
and pick
I
up
don't know.
Mikey's. They didn't see his barrel. I hope the judges saw it, because
they saw it,
definitely
mate.
saw
They got a better angle.
him.
I've seen the number.
Okay,
Oh,
so
unreal.
9.27 I've just heard of the beach comms.
You've seen
He
it.
belted the end of it, but like I said, barrel at the top. So if you just picked up the replay from there and think, how the hell did he get a 9? There was a stand-tall barrel at the start of that one. So Mikey Clayton-Brown, stranglehold on this one now, 9.27, 6.67.
Whoa.
Quinn Bruce last score, 8.1, so they loved it. Different barrel, but yeah, very strong performance by both first and second right now. 2 high up in that 15-point range scores. And Shane Holmes looked like he was cruising at the start, 7.33, 6.27, but now he's got plenty of work to do if he wants to get himself in a progressing position. Don't
Write him off, though. Ken and Crisp is the surfer that wants to get a decent number to put himself in this heat, but Shane Holmes is right in it, 7.33. That's kind of rivaling Mikey Clayton-Brown's backup score. It's a little better. It's right there with Quinn Bruce's second score, and he's so capable of dropping an excellent number on us too. He's got the power.
Yeah, look, I'll be surprised if Shane Holmes doesn't go a bit deeper now.
Yeah, and what did we say about 2 minutes before, right on cue? I think the boys are going to have to start going deeper if they want to get barreled and get those big scores. And Mikey Clayton-Brown heard us. He was sitting behind the rock and barrel, 9-point ride. Quinn Bruce sitting from way deep, slingshot down, barrel in the second section, 8.1. I think we're going to be seeing the guys with 10 minutes to go in this one. This has been a really, quick started heat. We've seen a few pretty slow at the beginning, but this heat, plenty of waves, a 9 and 8, couple 7s, couple 6s. It's all happening here.
Yeah, it's just that it's a combination of that turn of the tide, we always get that little pulse on the incoming tide, plus kind of a new swell. It's taken over from that east-northeast swell, and now it's a southeast swell, and it's what they call it. That this afternoon we're going to see that.
Yeah, that push of the tide's definitely going to make those waves keep coming in. We do still have 2 heats coming up after this one. What are you seeing for tomorrow, Bugsy? I haven't looked too closely at the forecast, but I'm sure you have been the contest director. co-founder of this event, Big Bad Theo, who's been down here all day frothing around.
Theo looks at the map every 27 minutes.
What are you seeing for tomorrow? What are you seeing for tomorrow and Sunday?
Much of the same tomorrow. It's this swell direction will dominate, and I think it's on the Sunday it's going to come back to the east. But by then there'll be such a nice line of sand, and you wouldn't believe how much the sand can change overnight here. Just with that little broken up swell, that east-northeast swell, and then it has to connect again. It's amazing.
We love it. Well, I know what we can expect tomorrow, and that is the World Club Challenge. Let's check in with True. She's getting excited about it.
Thanks, guys. As you can see, we've got so many clubs, tents around on the beach. We've actually got some international teams here as well, which is so exciting. Tomorrow we have the first Usher Cup World Club Teams Challenge starting, and it's going to be really exciting. We have a bunch of teams competing. The atmosphere is going to be insane. So either get down here on the beach or you can watch it on ushercup.com.
Thank you, True, and Bugs. The format, just some tweaks on those sort of known teams events, and I like it.
Yeah, well, you know what? It's based on that whole Dream Tour concept of it's got to be entertainment. We don't need all the running and tagging. Hang on.
Action on the outside and behind the curtain. Finding the barrel that he needed was Shane Holmes. He's after a big score here, and he's got the section. Still hammering away at this one as he moves down the line. Can't let up just yet. Goes to the cutback. We've also got locked in the tube, Quinn Bruce. Don't think he's going to find an exit. Big finish there for Holmesy and the North Shelley Club. And he is right now just sucking in the big ones because that was a lot of work that he got done on that wave.
It's really clear now that there's no paddle back out from the other side of the Marley Rocks. That has changed the whole texture of the lineup. And again, amazing in one little surf break how quickly it can change with the swell direction. The reverse rip was an escalator ride. Now it would be a slog to get back. In fact, I can see Yellow just paddling hard to hold his ground. So this is incredible.
Wow, so Shane Holmes was looking for, I believe, an 8.37, and I would not be surprised if he gets it on this one. Beautiful barrel. We said just a few minutes ago, Shane Holmes has got a bit of work to do, and he's going to have to maybe pick up a barrel to contest against a few of the other guys. As we see behind him, Quinn Bruce might find himself in a bit of trouble here. This looked like a good one. He was just on the kink. He could have got a really long barrel here, but must have just got clipped by the foam ball, and that might be costly because although he is sitting on a high 15-point total, we just saw that last wave of Shane Holmes, 8.67. Holmesy straight back to the lead, and this has got to be the best heat we've seen all day. 3 surfers well and truly up over that 15-point mark. This is what we came here to see. Pumping waves, snapper rocks, 3 surfers going absolutely ham. Mate, what more do you want?
No, it's so good. So look, while we've got a little bit of a break in the action, just the format. It's all about, as I said, it's really all about the action in the water. So it's, obviously all competing surfers are in it. It's a 33-minute match, but the thing is that you can be out on the rock, you can in the keyhole, ready to go. As soon as someone finishes the ride that they're happy to have as their scoring ride, they just raise both arms. We'll have a spotter just looking for that, then they can go. You can be in the water and you can be running out of time, and you could just put your hands up at any time and they can go, and you're done. But I mean, it's going to come down to quality scores. You can have as many waves as you want, but with this new swell direction, I tell you what, you won't want to. You can waste a lot of time if you get a dud wave.
Oh yeah, the big paddle. Here we go on the outside. Mikey Clayton Brown just trying to maybe get the lead back here. He's looking to get rid of a 6.67. He needs a 6.73 to get himself into first. But the big goal there was just to up his heat score total and put the pressure on Quinn Bruce, who's so capable of turning in big numbers. Kenan Crisp, he's a bit out of this one at the moment, the surfer from the bar. But Shane Holmes, I mean, mate, he's on fire. That was just such a trustworthy performance. And he's reliable for it. It looked like he really put a lot into that ride. He got the barrel, stalled for the pit. It was the big carve when he came out that I loved.
Yeah, and he doesn't want to be bowing out in round 2. There's still plenty of action to come over the weekend. So Shane Holmes putting his hat in the ring to give himself a go on the next couple days over the weekend. I've got a few questions for you, Bugsy.
Yep.
I'm going to be coming up in the tag event.
Yep.
I'm a bit of a thinker.
Yes.
So I've got some little technical questions.
Well, this is
for
a
you.
thinking man's event.
It is. So if I catch a wave and hypothetically get a 5, but I want more and I paddle back out and I take a bit of time and I catch my next one, it's only a 4, does my 5 count?
Yes.
Or do I have to... Does the 4 count?
No, your
because
best
I have
wave
to claim?
counts.
So your best wave counts.
Your best wave counts.
So it's just once you claim it, that's just signalling that the next surfer can
go. But you
So
can
your
go and
best-
you can be out there for the whole 33 minutes if you want.
Okay. But only one of your wave counts.
That's right.
So, when you throw your arms up, you're basically signalling that you're
Next
done.
guy go.
That's right.
Okay.
That's the deal.
See, I think that's a pretty important question, don't you reckon, Ronnie?
Yeah.
Because
Mate, I think you did pretty well,
sometimes there's been other times in tag surfing where if you choose not to claim that wave and your next one's worse, you have to take the score of the next one. So I like that format. That's better.
I mean, I'm eliminating all penalties.
Great.
This is just up to you guys to manage your 33 minutes. And then at the end of it, if the fourth surfer gets back to anywhere on dry land, including, climbing rocks, whatever, you get 3-point bonus. So that means if you're out there, you got a 4-point ride, and you're still using the clock going, I can get an 8. Well, if you make it back to the beach, that 4 turns into a 7. But there's no penalty for being right out there, right till the hooter goes either. There's no penalties in this.
And is it dry sand or what if it's wet sand but your feet aren't underwater?
Yeah, with that low tide, good question. Good question.
Do our competitors need to make it back to dry sand?
Yes, dry. It's got to be dry land.
Dry land.
Dry land.
So
not just sand.
Oh,
they could be
sand on
standing.
a rock.
Yes, right.
Okay, that might be the quickest way to do it.
Well, that's what it's open,
Yeah. Sometimes at high tide, there's rocks poking out of the water.
Another question.
I've thought about that one too,
Freddie's Rock.
I mean, I might have to eliminate Marley rocks on the high tide though, because
you got to get back to the beach.
Yeah, I don't want anyone climbing those barnacled rocks.
No.
What about, is there a power surfer?
No.
No power surfer.
No.
So only 4 waves are going to count for
that's
your
right.
team. Okay. So we're going for a total of 40?
A total of 43 is maximum.
43, yep, with the 3 points.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah, that's right,
I think it's going to be fun. Is there bonus points for creative claims? We might see some fun claims.
Well,
no bonus points?
No, there'll be bonus commentary.
For us in here,
talking
about the
We'll
claims.
have a lot of fun with it.
Yeah.
No, it's going to be awesome to see as we have another set stacking up on the outside. And Quinn Bruce, really critical. He's actually pushing hard here. He wants back into the top 2. Maybe even he wants that number 1 position. Already has a big score, an 8.1. And he's chasing another big score to get himself up into that qualifying position. He's after a 7.85 out of this one.
This is one of the most hard-fought heats we've seen. This is incredible.
I think I give it to him.
Mate,
I think that was maybe some of the most aggressive waves. We're going to have to see the replay, but from initial reaction, me watching those first 2 or 3 turns, like you said, there was that real urgency.
Yeah.
Takes off. It looked like maybe a barrel, but he went, nah, I need to go straight up vertical.
Very good.
Airdrop. This one, pretty loose. Got the fins released into a float, into another float. A little bit behind, but still got up nice and vert. The wave did lose some juice.
He's connected with this wave, though.
I think it's very close.
It's a good ride.
It's very close. We have seen a few waves with barrels earlier in this heat. The 9 from Mikey Clayton-Brown, the 8.67 from Shane Holmes. And you can see the urgency here from Quinn Bruce. He surfed a stellar heat and found himself in 3rd with just under a minute to go. We'll wait and see what that score is, Ronnie.
Oh, it's going to be intense.
That was hunger.
Look, it was a really well-surfed wave.
And an answer.
And here we go, Mikey Clayton-Brown hammering down the line. Nice hit there in transition. Keeps that flow. Still has room to move. And really starting to dig in, moving a lot of water there. But, I mean, the damage on the outside from Quinn Bruce.
Yeah, that's right.
That's going to be the comparison. As Shane gets himself up once again, almost sticks the rail there. It's going to put him a little behind.
He might need that wave. I mean, it's going to be close, but both 3rd and 2nd
got killer waves.
Got waves that, I mean, and you can see how tight it is right now. Shane Holmes isn't safe right now, but we'll wait and see 2 of them dropping scores up over that 7 and 8 point range. It's pretty rare, but anything can happen. It's going to be very tight.
Look at this. I mean,
he's definitely got the best moustache in the comp.
Yeah. I think the real telling point here is the fact that Mikey Clayton-Brown was only looking to improve on that 6-6-7 to really push Quinn Bruce's score requirement up. You know, is the value of having that 9-2-7 in your score is in his favour, I feel.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this is going to be really tight. It's going to be hard to give it to anyone right now. It's so close up there. Quinn Bruce, like we said, really attacked that wave. No barrel on it. It was pretty critical, and the first 2 turns were the money turns. So judges do tend to really favour when you go aggressive at the start of a wave.
I see what you're saying, because Shane Holmes isn't safe.
Yeah, Shane
Okay.
Holmes, after the hooter too, probably had a 9.
Yeah.
He just did 4 big turns on the outside. Waiting on the nubs to come through for that man on screen, Quinn Bruce. Did he do enough? Mikey Clayton-Brown with a score on the way as well. And Shane Holmes just, well, he'll be waiting for the update nervously out there. He was in the lead.
Really good heat. What a great heat.
Yeah, I loved it. You know, from the start, it had it all. So let's see what unfolds here. We've got more action coming your way. A couple more big heats to come. Nathan Hedge is out there next with Chris Bennett. Darren Turner, an unbelievable surfer, and Nathan Cook.
Nathan Cook was a last year a sleeper that went all the way through the semis.
7-2-3 for Mikey Clayton-Brown. That gets him up into the lead. Quinn Bruce now needs a 7-9-1 out of his last ride to jump up into second place, or maybe even go all the way to the number 1 position. Shane Holmes is in big danger as we wait for the score to come through for Quinn.
Wow. Oh, they missed that one. Look how difference. Look at it's got. Look how strong it's got.
And the score came through for Quinn Bruce, 7-4-7. Not enough. Shane Holmes hangs on to that second position. And he is progressing through to the next round. And I think that was just off the fact that he dropped that great wave earlier on. Shane Holmes, the 8-6-7. The comparison was there with Quinn Bruce's ride, and they gave Shane Holmes the nod. What a performance.
What a performance. And you know what? It's just gone to another level of juice out there.
Oh, just in time for the juicer, Nathan Hedge, who will be so fired up here. We saw him on the exercise bike. He rode about 50 kilometres before he paddled out. And he's going to get things started nicely here, Hedgie.
I mean, is he the best starter you've ever seen in the history of surfing? You know, Narrabeen's always had this guy who can go out there and get a 7 in 4 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, having Nathan Hedge as your opening surfer for the last, it seems like 20 years of North Narrabeen surfing, and I mean, having him in your team, you can almost bank that he's going to get a 7 or more in under 10 minutes, which is very nice to have when you're surfing tag.
Double whammy.
Yeah, it's over 20 years of just committed board riders' effort from this guy. The North Narrabeen team is a coal train. This is the guy who shovels the coal in. He's just an animal. And, I mean, he kicked off this heat with a throwaway number, but just quickly adapted and rebounded strategy-wise. Just right on it, his experience coming to the fore there.
He's looking to go one better. He was runner-up to Sheldon Simkus last year in the Usher Cup.
Yeah, 6.9 for that second wave, and what a quick thinking backup wave to swing on.
Yep.
Yeah, I think that was smart for Hedgie. He had a first quick one, a 1.5, pull into the barrel, thing chandeliered and clamped on him, and then while all 3 of the other surfers were pushing up deep, he seemed to pick that one up a little bit wider and underneath everyone, went to town, and now he's got his backup, I guess you'd like to call it. You've seen some huge scores in the last heat. They know they're going to be needing to get scores up in the excellent range, but a 6.9 is definitely a good score to have early in your heat, especially when all 3 other surfers are sitting out the back, yet to take off.
Chris Bennett's, he's been in the lineup more than any of the other surfers during CT events over the years, working as part of the Water Patrol team. Great surfer, he and his brother Adam. He's representing North End out here at the moment, knows this location so well, and has sat out there and watched more heats unfold than probably anyone, including the competitors.
Well, last year North End club came 3rd in the Usher Cup. I mean, they are just one of them solid, salt-of-the-earth clubs.
And then the guy out there representing Mermaid Miami, Darren Turner. He is an unbelievable surfer, really powerful, very strong. He was competing on the qualifying series 20 years ago, and always had a reputation for being a fantastic surfer. Nathan Cook for Duranbar, he's the other competitor in the lineup. So it's a pretty stacked field here. It should be fun to watch.
Yeah, Nathan Cook was last year, really, really strong. And he's got such a good backhand and he knows this wave very well.
It's all happening for you, Bugs.
Yeah, mate. It's just happening for everyone.
How good's this? You can't script it. Like, having waves like this, I mean, to be honest, the last couple of weeks have been pretty good. But to just pick a weekend in the middle of January to get waves like this, I mean, it's pretty magical, isn't it? Yeah. It's a special Usher Cup swell. We'll hopefully get it every year.
Yeah, well, I moved it a week earlier this year.
Hey, I think it's paid dividends.
We move around Australia Day, you know what I mean?
Yeah. And as we're seeing from my live view, Shane Holmes walking up the beach, dodged a big bullet. I tell you what, right at the end of that last heat, we saw Mikey Clayton-Brown pick up a 7. We saw Quinn Bruce pick up a 7. But Mikey had that 9-point ride for that beautiful barrel behind the rock earlier, which edged him out into the lead. Shane Holmes had a barrel, 8.67, and a nice backup. And Quinn Bruce up into that 15.7 range, but unfortunately bound out of competition here in round 2.
Yeah, heavy. He's one of the star performers through those earlier rounds, but he's a guy that's going to flare right up when we enter that club challenge event. As we see on the outside, just more set waves, unloading. That thing just absolutely vomited behind Nathan Cook there.
Yeah.
But Bugs, you're the Dennis Quaid of surfing. Field of dreams. You've built it. They've come. The waves have turned up. And we're starting to see just really great performances. So, I mean, the surfers are living up to the hype as well.
Yeah, they're putting on the show. I mean, we built it, and the platform's there, and then they bring the magic, and that's the way I see it.
Oh, look, there's a couple of
hang on,
old favourites. Darren Hanley there on the right, J. Bob Thompson on the left.
So cool.
Bottle surfing for Burley Heads. He's got a heat coming up.
Don't think bottle surfing.
Yeah, unless he's surfed already. There's only one heat left for the men to come up, and then we've seen every single surfer in the draw after this next heat. Red and orange in the next heat are the last 2 surfers who haven't hit the water in the whole of the event. We've had all the women surf. We've had all the men surf now today.
Yeah, he's here obviously getting behind Hanata Azawa, who'll be surfing for Burley Heads in that last heat.
Oh, yeah, he's a Burley coach.
I knew there'd be a Burley surfer in there, if not Bottle.
And here we go. Nathan the Hog Hedge picking up another wide one on his way back out and going upside down. Realising he couldn't quite hit the floater on the second one, he needed to build speed. Coming around, big floater on that next turn. Looked like he was at J-Bay on that thing, and unfortunately that one running off, but getting a backup. We know how lully at times it has been. There's been slow heat, so Nathan Hedge, the only 2 waves of consequence so far in this one. Still plenty of time remaining as we see Hedgie pick this one up. Strong first turn.
So good.
Doesn't get much better than that one. And little wobble off the bottom, so he couldn't get the float. Waited, bought his time, big float there, and that's all she wrote. So just the 2 turns on that one. It's going to be another bit of a backup score, but he's definitely going to be well and truly in the lead.
Surfing has got to be one of the hardest sports to coach, just simply because, that last heat, you're sitting on the beach, you got your charge, and you're watching that last heat, and it is absolutely pumping. And they've all got 4 good ones and throwaways. And then you just go, oh my God, next heat, is it one of those one-on, That's hard to coach.
It is, man. You know what is also hard? Sitting here at Snapper Rock, this is the one venue that, by the end of the day, I actually feel kind of sick. I've just watched so many fun waves roll through. It's kind of hard to take. There's some venues that you're on the call for, Bugs. We've worked a lot of events together where you're looking at the conditions that's going, they can have it. It's frightening. It's scary. It's death-defying stuff. But then this venue, it's just, this is just such a fun destination.
Yeah, it is. It's fun.
It's good for everyone.
I mean, seriously, you can just walk out. You don't even, you can just walk out through sand through a keyhole. The keyhole's been made to walk out. Yeah. Or you can jump off the rock.
Yeah, the lineup, the reverse current before was depositing you to the takeoff zone.
Exactly.
You didn't even have to do anything. A little different now, but it's awesome to see these waves being taken advantage of. Coop, I love the reference to J-Bay before. Of course, Nathan Hedge famously made the final at Jeffreys Bay, lost out to Andy Irons there in a championship tour event. But he made an adjustment through that wave that I think only a surfer with some experience in this lineup can make. And that is you're in danger of getting caught behind, and you just know when you've got to put the foot down and chase down that open wall.
Yeah, Hedgie's definitely spent plenty of time surfing his backside, plenty of point breaks throughout his career, and like you said, you can definitely tell. And another thing, obviously, that Hedgie's done probably more than anyone else in this heat is surf heats. He's got plenty of experience, and you can tell right now, the only real surfer that's got off the mark right now, like you were touching on, Bugsy, it is quite difficult sometimes to coach people because like that last heat, there's so many waves. So Chris Bennett, Darren Turner, they're like all licking their lips. I'm going to sit behind the rock, get a bunch of eights. And right now, they haven't had anything.
And that's right. I remember talking to Pat O'Connell one day and you know, talking about the Dream Tour and all this. And, you know, Jay Bain, and he turned around to me and he said, you know what? I've come here for 7 years in a row and I have had the ebb of the tide every heat and it's gone flat. And I went, oh, my God, it does happen.
It does. And, you know, in free surfs especially, sometimes as a visiting surfer, you know, a set will come through and every core Mad Dog local will take a wave and all of a sudden you're the guy in prime position. It's your opportunity. You're behind the rock. You're fighting the rip. And that wave doesn't come. And slowly you start seeing them appear on the rocks, getting ready to jump back in. And there's 20 people swarming, picking their opportunity to dive in, and you eventually get to a point just go, here comes a 2-footer. This is my only shot to even get a wave at all. I better take it.
And then you miss it.
And your bit of backwash hits you, you fall off. You're 100 people down the line.
And no, you relegate yourself down the line.
Oh, yeah. You just forego any kind of priority and you go down and you just look at people with puppy dog eyes and say, can I come with you on this one? Generally, you get a big face full of white water.
Anyway, that's exactly what happened.
And I've had some great experiences surfing out here too.
Oh, no, I always just say, you know, it comes out in the wash, you know. And you'll have sessions where you are so in sync, it's incredible. And then you go out, I'll have one more, you go out and you get skunked.
Yeah. Well, the good thing is when you're in the water, no one can see your tears. They're hidden.
And as well, a good one out here. I mean, I'm definitely far from a local, but sometimes when you get in those really hot rhythms,
you go good out here.
It's kind of nice because it's such a long wave that you don't see anyone for quite some time, and then they just see you on the rock. And sometimes you jump off the rock and get one under everyone, and they don't even see you catch it.
Oh yeah.
And you can do laps, 3 or 4 laps before anyone else has caught a wave. Sometimes, like Hedgie has right now.
If you feel obligated to catch up with a relative whose company you don't really want to enjoy, invite them for a surf at Snapper Rocks.
That's right.
You'll see them in the car park, and you'll never see them again.
Yeah, I always say,
life.
They go, let's go for a surf. I say, well, let's just go for a walk.
Yeah.
We won't see each other again for the rest of the day.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
And I'll tell you something, kind of leading off the back of this conversation, it can be quite difficult to adjust when you get out there and it's just the 4 of you because it's something that you never get.
Oh, so true.
So trying to work out which waves to pick can be tough. And I'll tell you what, Darren Turner, he has waited a while, but that might be the best one of the heat.
He's just got that full power base. He's got tree trunks for legs, and he just ripped through those combos then. That was solid.
You know, one point here is that, you know, the hog got that wave quite a while ago, and he's only just about halfway back out. I mean, there's a current flowing now. Yeah, look at this wave. This guy just rips. Oh, that was so classy.
He was just such a frother. He's living on the other side of the hinterland these days, but I saw him after he blitzed his first heat this morning, and he said, I've got to get back to the coast.
Oh, wow.
It doesn't look like he's been anywhere but in the lineup, but he was one of those guys, Darren Turner, who spent so much time in the surf when he was a Grom. It always looked like his eyes were going to fall out of his head. He just had the reddest eyes you've ever seen. But, man, he was well and truly focused on every section that counted on that ride. The scores come through at an 8.6.
Oh,
I think well deserved. I like that. 3 turns, bit of variety, bit of power. Just tied together beautifully on a really nice set wave. That's all you need to do.
Man, I haven't seen him in so long, and it's just so cool to see someone like that who sort of just fades away from the spotlight, and they come out and just drop an excellent number on you, as we see now. Chris Bennett's looking to get his campaign started. Let's see if he can drop an excellent score. Nice hit there. This wave's got a nice little pocket on it down the line.
That's exactly what I was thinking. The pocket's been there for him every turn.
Oh,
yeah,
tricky.
Not a happy finish, though.
3 nice turns to start that one, though. It's going to get him in the heat. We saw, obviously, Darren Turner with that 8.6. Here we go, replay. A little slingshot at the start of this one. Our camera guy lost him, but we'll see if we pick it up. I like that turn. Nice snap in the pocket, maintained his speed, and then really drove that one around. Lost the fins a tiny bit, but he's nice and patient. Unfortunately, sometimes when you sit there for 13 minutes, the nerves do get to you. The pressure builds a little bit, and finishing those waves becomes that little bit harder. And unfortunately there for Bennett, didn't quite ride out. Nice first turn, though.
Really nice first turn. And just it's got a nice draw off the bottom of that wave. It's all set up for a nice bunch of, variety in his repertoire. And he was going well. He banked a few points.
Just got to scratch your head at how many good surfers there are in this country. I've known Chris Bennett forever. I'm so used to seeing him on the ski, racing people around the big buoys, the boys here, and getting them back to the takeoff zone. I forgot how good he was.
That's right. And the other sort of philosophy behind the whole Usher Cup thing was that I wanted to create a format where every single club has a chance of winning. Because every club's got 4 unbelievably good surfers, excellent surfers. If we went to 10, the glamour clubs, the North Narrabins, the Snappers, they're going to have the advantage. The depth is incredible, right? You go every club. You can't slip up. There's these minnow clubs that never win anything, but have got incredible club spirit. They have still got excellent surfers at the top end of their leaderboard.
Those foundation clubs too, though, they're like strong NRL teams. All those foundation NRL teams. They've been around for so long. Yeah. They kind of have a winning culture based on the fact they were there before everyone else, and you grow up seeing winners and you're surrounding yourself with it, and all of a sudden you're representing those people. You kind of feel like you've got an edge over everyone, but we're starting to see it. Clubs like Snapper, like North Narrabeen get tested by sort of upstart clubs who are really starting to kind of build a winning sort of legacy themselves, and that's been interesting. Even with some of the domestic Board Riders Club qualifiers for the ABBs, there's been some surprise results, Coop.
Yeah, a few that come to mind, I guess. North Shore, a couple of years ago, taking out the Board Riders battle. Alistair Reginato comes to mind. Incredible surfer, leading his team to the front. Allura with Connor O'Leary. They're a young club down in Cronulla, really picking up their game with, who else we got with them? Shane Campbell. Does Jarvis surf for them? Maybe? I'm not too sure. But then another club that I think's been really coming out of the woodwork that has been around for a long time but is having a resurgence is Longreef. Kobe Clements down there. We've got Xavier Bryce, a bunch of young kids really coming through that are, giving the clubs like North Narrabeen, Snapper Rocks that are so established a good run for their money. But, it is still great to see people like Sheldon Sinkus, the new crop from Snapper, the young guys from Narrabeen, I guess Geordie Lawler, Dylan Moffat, they're still bringing him around. And Nathan Cook, he's got a bit of work to do, but far out, he's doing it on this wave.
Oh, Cookie.
That's what I mentioned him. He's got an incredible backhand.
Yeah, that is strong. He's from good stock too, isn't he, Bugs?
Yes. Yeah, this guy here is really blows my mind sometimes when you see him on a wave. His backhand, we don't get any lefts here, but his backhand is sensational.
Yeah, that was
bang.
That was impressive. Wow. So powerful.
Hey, this is going to be a firework finish heat. Right now we've got Nathan Hedge with the 2 scores, 6.9, 6.83. Our surfer, Darren Scott, he's out there with the huge score of the 8.6, but he's got a tiny backup. But then also you've got Chris Bennett with the 6.9 matching Hedgie's top score. And we're about to see another score come through for Nathan Cook that's going to be well and truly up in that, I'd say, 6 or 7 point range. So with 3 minutes to go, second, third and fourth is anyone's game, and Hedgie's still not safe up in first as well.
The smart thing for Hedgie was just getting those 2 early waves. This has been a super slow heat compared to the last one. We see Nathan Cook doing the paddle back out. See, sometimes, you got to weigh it up. If I run all the way around and jump off the rock with 2.5 minutes to go, I've got 4th priority,
Yeah, the paddle back out, I think, is a very smart option down here for Cookie. He's stopped paddling, though, if we can look out the corner of our eye right now. He's starting again, but he doesn't want to go up too close to the competitors, but he's not going to need that much.
Yep.
Right now, He's only got the 1 point right in his score line, just under 2 minutes. We're waiting on the score for Cookie, but it's going to change everything. And there it is, an 8.83.
Wow.
He is now looking for a very minimal score to catch up to Darren Turner. And as I was touching on,
both of them are dangerous.
Nathan Hedge is not safe up in first right now, who looked like he was cruising through this heat. The guys down in second and third are only looking for something around that 4 or 5 point range to catch Hedgie. So anyone's game right now, and Chris Bennett's sitting down in fourth, but he doesn't need much to catch second. It's one of those heats that anything can happen with just under a minute and a half to go. I'm excited.
Chris Bennett doesn't need that much to get first. Oh, no, this one, he hadn't got it. What does he need?
Oh,
No, that's a
probably
dud.
next to nothing.
Here's Chris Bennett's, but there's only a minute left. And Hedgie will control the line up to his best ability.
Oh, he sure will. Yeah.
This is just going to be classic because these guys are like, seriously, incredibly dangerous.
Nathan Cook needs a 2.1.
He's going to get it, and Darren Turner's only going to need about a 2.6.
Will he get a 2.1, though?
Well, here goes Chris Bennett's on the replay. This is his last ride. And he wasn't chasing a whole lot, but he only managed a 2.33.
Chris Bennett's is 2. Oh, no, he's going this one.
Chris Bennett's up again, had a quick look.
All he did was stop there, Nathan Cook getting one. Nathan Cook's going to go this wave right here. This wave could be a 2 right here.
He already got it.
Oh.
Cookie got a 3.07 on his last, so he's moved into progressing position. And I tell you what, that is what we call a 3-minute heat. He had a 1 point ride in his scoreline, dropped the 8.83, and looking out the corner of my eye out the back, there's nothing coming. So we're going to see Nathan Hedge and Nathan Cook heading on through. It's a good day to be a Nathan, and unfortunately, Chris Bennett and Darren Turner are going to bow out of that. You got to feel for Darren Turner, 8.6 in his scoreline, and just didn't get another opportunity.
Wow, man. That was strong from Nathan. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
As you said, you know, just saved himself with that stunning 8.83. But Hedgie, rock solid, hanging in there, and, you know, did the work early.
Just smarts. Did the work early.
Yeah, he didn't have the biggest number. You know, 2 surfers had bigger scores than him in the end, but he had the high-range 6s, and that was enough to keep him in front. It's 2 waves. Best 2 waves.
Yeah, Snapper went his way, though, because those other guys were in such dangerous form, and Hedgie didn't really get anything more than those openers, but it just gave him a little kiss, you know?
Working his way. I'll tell you what, I'm excited for tomorrow, Hedgie's claims. Hedgie's claims are going to be good fun tomorrow, but what an epic day. We've got one more heat coming to finish off the day.
Bring it on. You're watching the Usher Cup World Club Challenge, and we've got the last heat of the second round for the men coming up in just a moment. We're into the last heat of the day here at the Usher Cup. Day 2 of the event window. It's had some big highlight moments. We had a 10-point ride. We've had veterans flaring up. We've got one of them on screen at the moment who's just progressed through for North Narrabeen. Nathan Hedge getting props there from Matty Cattle.
And I'll tell you one thing. Ronnie, we have had some unbelievable backhand performances.
We sure have. Yeah, I'm thinking about throwing the right foot forward and giving it a nudge out there. It seems to be the key to success these days.
It sure does. They look so good. The Goofies, there's just been an explosion of Goofy footers here today at Snapper.
Yeah, now we'll see who's standing on top of the podium at the end of it all, though, Bugs. But yeah, it's been impressive, no doubt. This is the last heat of the day, and it is another heat with some big names entering the water. Alistair Reginato for the North Shore. This guy is rock solid. Hinata Ozawa for Burleigh Heads. Randy Bonds for Santa Cruz. I've seen plenty of Randy surfing over the years. Really talented surfer. He's going to relish the opportunity here at Snapper Rocks. Obviously, getting plenty of rights to work with back home. And then Micah Margison back out there for Kingscliff.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Micah's really coming on strong as well. Yeah, this is an incredible heat to finish the day. There's a bit of a double up section. Someone is going it.
Yeah, it's going to be
Alistair.
Alistair. Watch this guy. This guy's so solid.
Yeah, he's incredible.
Big power. And, definitely has, that ability to do his best serving in the jersey, which is what all these aspiring pros are trying to get to.
Yeah, Alice has been really solid. I've seen him coming up, in the under-8. Him and Jago used to compete in the under-8 schoolboys together. Incredible.
Yeah, it's cool. He's had to wait a long time for this clash, as has Hinata. So we'll see what they can bring to it.
Yeah, it is a long wait when you heat 16. It's actually the 24th heat of the day.
Yeah, and you're also you've got to remember that for some of these clubs, this is their last chance to really see a surfer rack up some big numbers before the World Club Challenge. That was a great turn to start off that
sure
ride.
Was.
Didn't go anywhere.
No, the wave fizzled, but Alistair always gets a lot of waves. So, the guy is just he's so good at his timing and the positioning in the lineup, and he's just so hungry.
Well, we've got another big day coming your way tomorrow, so make sure you stay tuned to ushercup.com.
There's the Groms. They've just taken over.
Yeah, that little Grom in front is Dean Morrison's son.
Oh, that's Ikey. Yeah, what an absolute classic little guy he is.
He's good value, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Ikey's going to fill in the gaps in the conversation that Dino leaves. Dino was kind of, he could get a little boisterous at times, but for the most part, he was a man of few words. And I think Ike's going to keep the conversation rolling.
That's a good call. That's a good call. He's got a lot of spunk about him.
All right, so on the outside, you can see Hinata there just hanging on to that inside position, wanting to get himself shacked. Coming from Burleigh Heads, you know that he's going to have some form inside the pit. Let's see if we don't see a couple more waves unload on the outside.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's one of those things they know if they can just get one of those to start with one of those barrels or just one of those linkers, it just puts you in such good position.
Here we go. So Alistair's up on his second ride now. 417 for the first. Blasting through the lip here. He's happy just to chip away and build a bit of a house here. Having watched Nathan Hedge in the last heat do the same thing. Wow. He made something of absolutely almost nothing there.
Well, that's his confidence because he knows he can get a score out of a wave like that. And he just surfed it incredibly well. And he'll get a score out of a maximum 2 foot wave. But I see some big lines coming through on the outside. I think we're going to see some sets too.
Wow, he just smoked this wave. And when he got to the inside too, it was a nice mix-up going to that big rail carve.
Massive rail carve.
So Alistair's just dropped a 7 on a small insider.
On a nothing. And here's that set. We just saw Hinata get a pretty decent wave. And outside, there's a cover-up.
Yeah, that's Micah Margison, son of Brendan. And, it didn't get particularly deep, but this is another young surfer with a mature approach and a lot of power.
Nice.
To boot. He likes the feel of it.
That was really nice. Now, looking forward to seeing Randy Bonds now I just hope, I'd just like to see this heat, last heat of the day, just pump. Just relentless surfing.
Yeah, it'd be magic, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, it's been pretty relentless all day. A couple of slower heats.
Yeah, not many.
Often the way the pulse kind of seems to slow down occasionally, but it's sped up at different times too. Here we go.
Well, there hasn't been a dud heat.
No. Hanata up now on the replay and just work this one over.
Yeah, just solid surfing, solid tradesman style approach here. By there, you get a bit more into that one. These last couple of turns are pretty decent. And this nice little cover up there. As you said, he didn't disappear completely, but pretty good start to the heat. That was a good turn.
Micah Margison's dropped a big number with this ride, Bugs.
Bang.
8.77.
That finish was awesome.
He knows it was good too.
Yeah.
You could just tell. And he was out there on, I think, an epoxy maybe this morning.
Okay.
And wouldn't be surprised if he's changed it up. There's going to be some added push with that tide coming back in now. 8.77 is a great way to kick things off.
There's Randy Bonds out there in the yellow. He's sitting a little wide at the takeoff, but, you know, he's sort of hedging his bets, I would say.
Look at that wave on the outside.
Yeah. What a great angle.
Love this place.
Here he goes.
Been enjoying great drone vision.
Now, this is a good-looking wave for Randy Bonds.
Look at him, positioned under it, dropping in. He drops straight to the bottom and drives that board up through the lip, the goofy footer.
Yeah, he's going to hopefully, this one has got something down the inside. No, it doesn't. It doesn't.
So, you know, he waited a long time for that one.
It was one of those ones that you had to be super deep behind the rock, and where he took off is where you had to be doing the damage.
Yeah, it's the gamble is how deep do you go, but we are seeing just the odd one just starts so deep behind the rock.
That's right.
So,
see, now Alistair will be out there. He'll have the priority.
He'll have the lead.
He's got the 7 already. I mean, he's a very smart competitor. But to get a 7 on like a 1.5 foot wave is incredible. And he starts this wave so well, and it just flattens out. Yeah, there's nothing to it.
Oh, what a bummer.
Yep, bummer for Randy.
Alistair Reginato trying to get rid of that 417. There's one of those deeper ones we were talking about. That one clamping up a little bit, but that, you know, that famous sort of backwash and explosion of water out there behind the takeoff zone in full effect today. You got to just
marvel.
I guess reps is what you need out here to read that properly. We've got something standing up. He's well positioned here. Alistair Reginato drops into it, maintains control, steps on the tail. This thing's reeling and holding open. And he'll now go to the carve. I'd say he'd already gotten rid of the 4.17, but there's still so much room to move down the line here. Reginato getting it done for North Shore.
Jeez.
And
he's already banked a heap.
Yeah, he got the points he needed out of that one.
I reckon.
Still got plenty of time too, 9 minutes.
Now that was a proper deep barrel. He kick-stalled, then released, and was a solid board length behind the barrel, behind the curtain.
What a dream to
Look
get
at
a
this
wave
thing.
like that in the heat.
I know. This is a good snapper right now. Yeah, that's right. He got a 9.53.
Yeah, that's just strong. You know, the judges have been absolutely dining out on the tube rides today, and that was, as you said, Bugs, good version of the approach.
Oh, wow. Look at the angle from here. Slotted. Look at this stuff. Yeah, he's really on point.
Oh, I mean, a little trip up at the end of this ride, but other than that, he's been spot on so far in this heat. I mean, you could critique him for taking average waves at the start of the heat, but he was still able to manufacture really good scores.
And that's what he knows. See, he knows he's got the surfing to manufacture a score on a pretty ordinary looking wave. It's such a so good to have that in your quiver.
Well, he's seen some strong kind of last-minute turnarounds throughout the day, even in that last heat. You know, we saw Nathan Cook basically surf a 3-minute heat and get himself into a qualifying position. But these guys are going to rack up big numbers and huge heat score totals, it feels like, as Micah Marguson gets to work on the inside, rolling through. We've also got Hanata up on the outside. He's going to go down. This has been a good ride for Marguson, who finishes off with a little float, little shifty on the inside.
Yeah, this is going to be there's going to be real separation here now with Alistair. He's got that 7-point back up to a 9.5, and now Micah, he's already got a score well into the excellent range, and now he backs it up with that wave. So I'd just like to see Randy Bonds get one of these waves. I want to see what he can do on them.
Yeah, I'm sure he's just relishing, just dying for the opportunity, praying for it.
Yeah.
So he'll be back at the top end of the priority order. He hasn't been getting himself stuffed back there as deep as his rivals just yet. Just maybe trying to find some space, but we'll see a replay now of Micah's last ride.
Yeah, really, just such solid surfing. Nice and loose. His timing's good. Always looking down the line, point break style. And Micah just finishes up this one with a flurry.
Yeah, great effort there. Expecting a really good score for that ride. The replay of Hanata just finding that cover.
Yeah, he found the cover of the wave.
Oh, he lost the back foot.
Yeah, it had nothing left. It was one of those ones that just get the little barrel behind the rock and then they fizzle.
So Micah got himself a 7.53. So the requirement, it wasn't enough to get him into the lead, but what he did do is go a long way to shoring up that second position. So Hanata's after a 9.03. Randy Bonds, he needs 2 waves and a 2-wave total of 16.31. That's just to get in second.
Yeah, and the thing is that he you know, just that wave selection on his first wave, and he missed that one set. There was only a 1-wave set, the one that Micah got, and then he got the dud wave, and then of course Alistair goes out and gets the 9.5, and Randy could have been on that wave had he stayed, but geez, when do you pull the trigger?
I think at this point, with the big numbers dropping and surfers coming from behind the rock and getting those big first turns in straight away, I think you've got to put yourself deep behind the takeoff section there. Your best chance, if not a big pit on the outside, is to attack the pocket of that most critical cupped out tall apex of the wave, and you can set yourself up for a good run down the line then.
Yes.
Mate, what a day. Thanks, Bugs. Thanks for having me.
Oh, Ronnie, it's been awesome. You know, it's just been a fun day of incredible surfing, and the waves have turned it on at Snapper. It has just improved all day. Look, this morning, you know, Nick Vasicek opened up with that 17-point, and it was a different swell direction, Ronnie. That was a completely different swell direction to what we've got now.
It sure was.
And it's just been overtaken with the classic Snapper setup.
Yeah, and I actually, on my break, I got down there and checked out the VIP zone, and it feels like a lot of our partners are there, especially our major sponsors for the event, Bugs, the Usher Group, obviously, but also Hutchinson Builders.
Yeah, Hutchies have been unbelievable. You know, they come in big time. You know, and the classic is this year, you know, Thea didn't even send the email out asking for sponsorship.
They sent him an email.
Exactly.
Yeah, and we've got a long list of sponsors as
massive.
well. But
see, they were small. That was the strategy was just a bunch of small sponsors to get going. You know, everyone can afford a not everyone, but a $5,000 little package, and then we've just upped it anything. But Hutchies have come in big time as a presenting sponsor.
But we've got to give props to PPG, Taubmans, New Age Caravans, Leadership Dynamics, Baxter Industries, Wattle, Dulux, TJM Group, and Ultron Project Management and the Get Directed Group. You know, the list goes on. We'll dive into some of those secondary, the silver sponsors, as we roll through the rest of the event. But a big shout out to all those that got behind the Usher Cup this year.
And to simplify it, Ronnie, here's how it works. Hutchies build it, Ushers paint it.
I love it. Yep, and
they put a few other fittings too.
Yeah, that is the easy breakdown for sure. And, you know, every single sponsor is involved in building this event and getting massive support to charities who need that funding to keep their good work going. But also, we want to put some money in the pockets of these up-and-comers and these board riders clubs so they can continue to build community in their local areas and support not just surfing, but just their community in general.
Yeah, and then put some money in the pockets of these young surfers who, many of them are going to go on the regional qualifying, and even though they might be leaving their country, Australia is still an expensive country to travel around, so, you know, that puts a bit of money in their pocket. And the other thing about with the charities is just to build awareness that they're there.
Yep.
Just awareness of what they do.
Yeah, and they are doing important, very important work. Just on 1 minute and 40 seconds to go here. Randy Bonds out there just waiting to get himself a good ride out here. I know he's got that big backhand, those solid turns. But I think in this situation, you know, you get priority here at Snapper Rocks. Put yourself behind the rock, grab that rail and stuff yourself into the tube because, you know, it's a magic vision. And you just don't know when you're going to get that opportunity again.
Yeah.
Well, he'll probably get it tomorrow.
I'm hoping. I'd love to see him get a cracker, just to finish the heat, or stay out there till dark and get one.
Yeah, why not? 1 minute to go here. Alistair Reginato had, much like Nathan Hedge, had the quick start. However, he's been able to build on his scoreline, dropping the highest number of this heat so far, 9.53. Hanging on to that 7 as well. And Michael Margison not too far behind on a heat score total of 16.3. Micah, his dad Margot, obviously has that reputation for being one of the first true free surfers, and what a surfer he is still to this day. His uncle is Heath Nutty Walker, long-time qualifying series campaigner. His partner True is on the commentary team and absolutely rips. I know his mum Simona as well. She's an absolute darling, super supportive, no doubt watching this heat unfold.
Yeah, that's a great connection.
As we see Alistair up again, and he's just,
he
is really on the victory lap here. He's got the checkered flag in hand, and he's just working the crowd at the moment.
A great performance. Alistair Reginato dominates the heat, and 9.5. Well, he got a 7. He probably improved on that one right there.
Oh, here come the mosquitoes.
Oh, my gosh.
Swarming. The Groms are out there. They've been watching all day. We want to send a big shout out to the local community.
Dino's going out. Yeah, mate.
Back in the water and looking sharp, apparently. Had his first surf yesterday. He's overcoming a bit of a health scare.
A health scare?
Yeah, he was in ICU for a while.
He sure was. It was radical. It was a radical thing that happened to him, but he's come through well.
He'd have some friends watching online. Don't worry, he's all good. He's back in the water.
Yeah.
And he'll be terrorising these grommets as they look to wrestle a wave away from our competitors here. But thank you so much for joining us today, Bugs. Thank you for having me, and really looking forward to diving into a big, fun day of competition tomorrow as we kick off the World Club Challenge. We'll see you first thing.
And behind the rock. Again, we can see behind the rock, Connor Lyon tucking in behind the barrel, and there's our first complete. Another nice turn. Driving through this big inside section and getting a nice fourth turn.
You know, he waited a long time to get himself into a pretty small ride there. And on the outside, just bang. It was a good little cloud on a nothing section to finish it off. Have a look at that. That links it into a nice carve off the top. Sheldon on the outside now with a good looking wall. Great finish